welcome to Organized Chaos. Today we are playing still my favorite, really rules-like game, Roll for Shoes, and we are going to the moon. My characters, or your characters, played by all co-op members today, will be telling me their name, sort of what brings them here on this first commercial trip to the moon. The moon resort has just opened. Nobody quite knows what's the full extent of it. There's been tantalizing glimpses offered by the glitterati who's been invited by the very, shishi influencer types who have only been able to see part of this resort base, which has been being built for a really long time. So take a second, think about it, give me a name, pronouns, and then if you could tell me something that has been really on your character's mind, something that's taking up a lot of their thinking energy, something that just, they're real into right now, weighing on them. For anyone out there watching, Roll for Shoes only has 6 rules. Everyone rolls d6. Every roll is a contested d6. Whoever rolls highest wins. If you roll all 6s on your dice face, you get to advance into a new power. Everyone starts with Do Anything 1. All 6s make you advance to either whatever you did 2, and from 2 you go up to 3, and that's how many dice you roll. So, everybody got some characters for me?
Yep.
We will start with Emily.
Okay, so my name is Roland Frederick III. Pronouns he, him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming because I'm a very, very important businessman. And I have a lot of money, and I want to be the first to sample some of the moon technology, looking to invest in some of the moon tourism business. And also the thing that's on my mind is I need something to distract me because my wife left me to go run off with her girlfriend. So, feeling a little cuckolded, perhaps.
Oh, poor Roland. It's nice to meet you, Roland. We'll do sort of intros of what you look like and what you're wearing when we get into the game.
Oh, the hat is on theme. I'm in full touristy outfit.
Oh, so we actually dressed up for this. I love the dedication to Sparkle Motion. Roland, you're excellent. Maddie. Hello.
Okay, so I will be playing as a girl named Mia Poinsettia. And I'm at the resort because my dad knew someone through his work. I don't really know what he does. I think it's something with hedge funds. I don't know. But I'm here because I am trying to build my brand as an influencer. And what's really been on my mind lately is that my dad won't let me drop out of college at USC to pursue my career.
How cruel that he forces you. Wait, so which USC? The
University
the
of
Cox
Southern
or the
California.
Which one?
The University of Southern California.
Okay. I mean, it would almost be darker if he'd made you go to South Carolina. I can say that because I'm a native of South Carolina. I'm allowed. And
really
Lauren.
Well, my name is Maximilian Moustache, Monsieur Moustache, he, him. I've been worried a lot lately about gravity, and I fall a lot. I thought that going to the moon might help out. And maybe there'd be a young pop starlet at on the bus or on the moon, and we might spark. I'm looking for a spark.
So in search of Pop Starlet for Mr.
Yes, I'd like to
Mustache.
marry a pop starlet and live off of her means in a gravity-less chamber.
So that's a requirement for a successful relationship is no gravity.
It's not a requirement, but it would be preferred.
Just strongly recommended.
Yeah. I have a
Great.
doctor's
Do you,
note.
like your, do you feel like your past relationships have maybe been a bit too heavy?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of heavy baggage.
Well, Mr. Mustache, I do hope that here on Luna Air, you're feeling like all of your prospects are just around the corner.
Hope so. I brought extra pheromones.
That's very good because there's no heat on the moon.
That's
So you
another
packed
plus.
well. So here you all are. You've been traveling for basically a whole day. You're coming to the end of your super fast portion of your travel, in which your pod, which basically got slingshotted right around Earth, straight bullet to the moon, is about to do like a hard break and gonna land right outside in one of the mares. And over the intercom, you hear the pilot come over and they say, "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We hope that you've enjoyed Lunar Air. If you could please strap yourselves in and brace yourselves. We will be coming out of the hard burn very soon, and you will get your first view of everything that you could ever desire. Thanks for flying." There's a click, and all of a sudden there's motion around the cabin as the lights sort of come off and people start getting ready, and there's kind of brimming excitement going on. Do any of you mark this momentous occasion in any specific way?
Yeah, I'd like to call down one of the flight attendants and order myself a whiskey.
Okay, you
Because
flip the
that's
little...
what very important business people do.
The what?
That's what very important business people do.
Oh, absolutely. You do the little ding ding, and you settle back. Anyone else? Mia, Mr. Mustache?
I'm just trying to take a selfie really quick with my ring light phone case. But my dad won't move out of the way so I can get the angle I need. But otherwise, that's it, because I can't post anything because there's no Wi-Fi on board.
That's true and like highly unfair, and you have already lodged a complaint. In fact, you have lodged 3 complaints over the course of this trip so far.
Yeah.
You're really not sure that anyone's heard you, but you know what? Fight the good fight.
When
I'm
I
gonna
get
need
Wi-Fi,
you-
I'm going to write about this on Yelp.
Oh, definitely at least if you're feeling generous by the end of this, half a star off. But, you know, it's theirs to lose.
If you can do it on a plane, how is this any different? That's all I'm saying.
Fair point. I'm going to need you to make a roll for that selfie and see just how good your pictures come out.
I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 1. So you get a pretty decent selfie. Like, you're very clearly able to capture the luxury around you, the kind of gunmetal gray that speaks to space travel. And so you actually get one that's really good, sort of one of those sneaky secret pics of like doing something really fun, can't wait to tell you about it, that shows you just enough that the internet's absolutely going to be like, oh, bitch is on a shuttle. So when you do have Wi-Fi, when you have some sort of access, you can try and post that if you want. Maximilian, how's
I've
your
been
glorious
dosing
mustache?
Molly since takeoff. My friend Edgar recommended it. Thought that maybe it would make me more personable if I met any pop starlets. Since we're getting closer to the moon, I took some more, just in case.
Great. Can you please give me a roll to see just how well you're doing?
3.
That's a 5. So, Maximilian, how do you what's the the symptom that hits you the most, traditionally. Yeah.
I'm very nauseous.
I was afraid of that.
Maybe this was a bad idea,
I was afraid of that.
but I feel really nice. I'm very happy to be with all of you. Thank you for being here with me.
Maximilian, you have 1 XP, so make sure that you mark that and keep
Okay.
track in case you want to change a die roll later. So, Roland, you are sitting there in your very appropriate businessman get up, waiting for your whiskey, and you hear, "Here's your whiskey." And what comes in front of you is, give me a whiskey roll real quick.
Okay. I got a 3.
I got a 2. So you have 1 beautiful highball of the most, like, perfect looking whiskey you've ever seen before. If you could really distill the essence of whiskey to one thing and show one person, like, this is whiskey, that basically is what you have. It smells kind of incredible in the way that, like, you really don't like whiskey, but this actually smells good. And the flight attendant, who is a slender young man that you don't recall seeing before, but has, like, a very pleasant smile and seems to be looking at you, like, between you and the whiskey, like, did a good thing, right? He offers it to you, and he's just kind of looking very eagerly at you, and he says, Mr. Fred III, with compliments.
From him or from... Who are the compliments from?
And he laughs, and he proffers it again and says, "You know."
Alright, I'm just gonna take a sip.
Make sure you take the napkin as well. And just deftly slides the plate. It's almost like you couldn't say no, and he tips it off and he glides off. And if you look at the napkin, you see a regular, just, logoed airline napkin. You flip it over and nothing else is in there. And then something catches your eye, and you actually open the napkin, and you see written in there in almost illegible chicken scratch is a room number that you can't quite decipher. It very clearly says room, and then a series of, "Excuse me, I have to go save some cupcakes for my cat. Give me 1 second."
Okay, let's go.
Wow, the immersion in this game is great.
Absolutely not.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom really quick, actually. I'm sorry,
Okay,
Emily.
alright. Abandon me. That's fine.
I'm so sorry.
Everybody does. My wife left me.
This is the culprit.
George.
You don't even like sugar. You just want the bread. So yes, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you look at it, these numbers just will not resolve. You presume they're numbers. They could be letters, but they distinctly, they look number-ish in their kind of shattered, discombobulated nature. But you have a really, really good whiskey, so I hope you enjoy that. Mia.
Mia has just gone to the bathroom.
Oh, Mia has gone walkabout. Let's see. Maximilian.
Yeah.
You are feeling very nauseated. It is not great. You haven't been this nauseated, probably for a really long time. Like, you can
Probably
very much
since
say.
Bruce Springsteen in 1976.
That sounds about right. This may be giving Bruce Springsteen a run for his money, which is, fairly impressive in and of itself. But just as you feel that, like, bubbling up sense of, like, oh, I may lose this battle, all of a sudden there is, a really, really lovely flight attendant standing in front of you in a pale blue flight uniform with one of those really adorable little, like, bellboy caps on, lovingly coiffed, just like the little bob that flips out a little bit, that porcelain doll looking sort of makeup on the face and makes the eyes look really big and just has a very, very pleasant and inviting mien that just makes you want to speak to someone. And she looks at you and she goes, "Hello, Mr. Moustache. I have seen that you are feeling not very well." And just as you lose your battle, she just whoops a small vacuum pack right over that you just everything into. Expertly just like closes once you're done and you hear a little and then she pulls out 3 sick bags and presents them to you with a little bow.
Merci. Thank you.
Thank you,
Do I
sir.
roll?
And then she just walks off without another word to you.
Why did she go? She's perfect.
Do you explore your 3 bags?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I need stimuli constantly.
So you shuffle through them, and they all look kind of the same. They're very clearly from different batches, but they're all branded with the logo. They one of them is blue, one of them is red, and one of them is green. And they all have just like slightly different topography on them, just tiny little differences that you only really notice because what else are you going to do when you're so nauseated and you can't really look outside because, man, that's moving too fast. And the written word, still nauseating, but way more your speed.
I love fonts.
Is there anything you want to do with these? You can tuck them away, you can just keep them out, you can open one up in preparation, whatever you want to do, or do nothing with them.
The green one to laminate when I get home. The
Like a
other
little
2,
souvenir.
I don't have plans for yet, but I'm afraid that my body might make those decisions for me.
I mean, bodies do that. Mia.
Yeah.
So you are, sorry, I've forgotten with the whole cat distraction what your goal was.
So I am still kind of annoyed that there's no Wi-Fi.
Yes.
And like I'm going to be recording my whole experience of this trip. I've complained 3 times, but nobody, I guess, customer service only exists on Earth. But I took a selfie so I can say, just put a picture with the caption, plain emoji, guess where, in all lowercase, and then maybe a sparkle emoji, and then maybe 20 hashtags. But otherwise, that's pretty much my deal. It kind of smells in here too. Like, low-key, I didn't want to say anything. I'm sorry, what?
That's the pheromones. They're from cougars.
Yes, it's Maximilian's pheromones that he both has and inspires, and the relative unwashed masses further in the back of the shuttle, for sure.
It smells like gym class in high school, but with the alcoholism of a state school.
Yeah, so just like a lot of high-powered rich people hanging out together in a tin can with recycled air. That sounds about right. And as you sit here and you contemplate these thoughts, you realize, oh, you did in fact hit the summons button again, because it is, you know that these flight attendants have to have Wi-Fi. You have seen them messing with their phones. They took people's credit cards to give them food. Like, this is conspiracy, and you're not here for it. It's not one of the fun ones.
Yeah.
And
well,
so,
I just feel like it's, I mean, as a young woman, coming into my power, with a quarter of a college degree, I just feel that I am being profiled by my age and because I'm a woman. And I feel like we as women have to stand up for ourselves in the face of injustice.
Absolutely. The teenager perspective here is really what the world has been missing.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm 20, so I'm an adult. But wait, what is the drinking age since we're on the way to the moon?
The drinking age on the moon is 18.
Okay, cool.
That has nothing to do with what you're doing here. Like, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, I had no idea. I just like for research purposes. But, since I've already hit the call button, could I get like something sweet?
And just
Like
as you have that thought, all of a sudden, 2 flight attendants pop up in front of you because you are sitting in one of the very front sort of bulk head seats. And they look at you and they say, Miss Poinsettia, have we got exactly what your palate is looking for? And you watch them as they reach into their cart and they seem to be pulling out like 2 or 3 different things. They make this little splash splash and they do a little dancey dance and a little shaky shake. And then they present to you a perfectly milky looking drink. Except they definitely had no milk anywhere. In fact, like, of all the ingredients they used, you're really unclear how it turned into this kind of sparkly fluorescent white color. Like, it almost glows with the light from within, and you definitely see some, like, translucent swirls going on in the depths. In fact, as you stare at it, you kind of feel yourself sucked in to the swirling, beautiful liquid that you are presented. And it's not until somebody flicks a business card right in front of your face, interrupting your view of this liquid, that you look up and the second flight attendant is looking at you like, yeah, I know, it's an experience, but this is just for you. And then puts the card right in front of the drink so that it's resting against it. And then they go off to presumably serve other customers. What would you like to do?
I want to like use my tray table and the card and the napkin and the drink to make a little flat lay and do an over a bird's eye view shot.
Okay. Give me the sort of selfie set decoration roll to see how well you do. I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 6.
Okay. You're gonna have the coolest space picture on the gram for sure. What would you like your new skill to be called?
Influence.
Influence 2. So, tell me how this influence manifests in your life.
So, like, I don't want to say that I'm a control freak because, like, that has connotations that are not great to women. But, like, I will say that last semester, my roommate was going to put this, like, really, truly terrible, like, chartreuse contact paper wallpaper on our dorm room walls. And instead of just telling her it was fugly and that I would file a complaint with the RA if she did it, what I did was I started kind of curating like a Pinterest board of like, understated minimalist decor. And then she started giving away some of her stuff and packing it up. And it was like, I encouraged her into minimalism. And then she moved out like for like a completely different reason. But then I didn't have to have the chartreuse walls. And that's when I was like, oh, I have a gift. and it's to, let people know what the trends are. And I saved her from having fugly chartreuse walls.
You're a true born influencer.
Thank you.
And we really just appreciate your service. In fact, welcome. And if you look at your business card, it is a Wi-Fi password to a hidden Wi-Fi network.
I knew it.
You're completely right.
I knew it. Can't not have Wi-Fi. This is a workplace. There are laws. I don't know what they are, but there are laws.
What are the laws on the moon? You may or may not find out soon. What do you do with this Wi-Fi password?
I mean, obviously, I'm going to make sure my phone's on the network, and then I don't have to listen to my dad trying to, like, pick something to watch on, like, his old, like, raggedy iPad, like, watch a movie. He was like, you want to watch My Cousin Vinny? Like, he wanted to, like, bond. I was like, no, like, what year is this? I just want to be left alone with my phone.
You should really see if your dad's sense of taste is being offered in the Brooks Brother catalog in front of you. He sounds like he needs it.
I mean, there's nothing he doesn't have yet. It's one of those things where, and like, his tailor has been just on his ass about, like, overbuying and, like, wanting to, like, be sustainable and, like, curate. And it's like, he's a boomer. He's not going to listen.
It's very true. So as you log in to this internet, all of a sudden your phone kind of, like, does a weird blip. It briefly dies, and just before you can start freaking out, it resurrects back into the app you were trying to open. And,
Oh my
like,
God.
whew, was that terrifying. But Roland and Maximilian, roughly at the same time that this is happening, all of a sudden your phones, which were supposed to be off and stowed appropriately as per the request, both ding. You hear an alarm go off on your phones. Do you respond? Do you ignore it? Do you check your phone?
It could be an important business email, so I've got to check it, right?
I mean, Roland, do you get any other kind of emails? I feel like it's all business important emails all the time.
Well, of course. I do also have to communicate with my lawyer about this whole divorce situation, but I mean, that's important too.
Of course it is. Priorities.
Yeah.
Maximilian?
Oh, I must look. It might be a Michael's coupon.
Or, even better, Michael's and Bed Bath & Beyond, since their epic merger in the year 2033. You both check your phones, and the alert was a little message that says, Mimi Poinsett wants to share the Wi-Fi password with you. You don't know Mimi Poinsett. This is not a contact that you can recognize. Roland, you have a lot of contacts, so it's really possible that you met this person, but they don't spark an immediate alert. Do you accept the Wi-Fi password, or do you decline and go about your business?
Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Maximilian?
I accept. I have to know who it is.
You both accept. Your phones also try and upload into the website, blip off, and come up into an app that you didn't download and that you don't remember having on your phone. But it says, welcome player 1, welcome player 2, and welcome player 4. Hello. Hello is a little button at the front of your, that's all it says, replaces all the text, just a little button.
Let's press it and find out what hello does.
Roland presses it. Maximilian, do you press it? Boop.
Gotta find out.
Mia, Do you press
I'm
it?
gonna press it. There's no X in the corner, so I
Nope.
can't get out of it. So I'll press it to see if I can get to a menu.
So you all press hello, and the text kind of gets swallowed. It's almost like the background white kind of comes through and swallows. And there's just a moment where you're looking at like a white screen with some blue border at the top. And then Mia, you get a how many pictures does it take to get to a good one? Question mark. Roland, you see a message that says, what is the most important thing in life? Question mark. And Maximilian, you get a question that says, what's love? What's love got to do with it? And after a moment of you looking at these questions, they blink once, blink twice, go really, really big the third time, pull back from the camera, and there is just a blinking cursor, and a keyboard pops up.
What's love got to do with it? Sorry. I got that for my birthday. It's just too ridiculous.
Maximilian, is your answer to the question to just reach into your carry-on bag and pull out a vinyl?
Yes.
Give me a roll, please.
Right.
The house rolled a 1. So you pull it out and you hold it up in front of the camera, kind of like, this. And you hear beep, beep, beep. Answer accepted. And your phone goes and turns off. It breaks itself. Roland, do you have an answer?
I think the most in character answer is to make more business deals to hide my loneliness.
Is to make more business deals to hide in loan outs?
Hide my loneliness.
Oh, hide your loneliness. Wow. That sounds utterly correct. So you type this in and you send it off into the void, and it goes with a swooshing sound. And then you hear after a few minutes, and your phone breaks itself. Mia, thoughts?
Is there a character limit? Because this is a nuanced question.
You cannot tell. All you see is the blinking cursor kind of like in the middle of the page, and there you can't tell anything else.
Okay. So I would type for a selfie, and then the girl emoji, and then the comma. It takes at least, I would say, 50 takes on a skinny day. And then for a flat lay with natural light, it would take like a cute 20 if you're prepared. If you're taking like a group picture out in public and you're relying on like a civilian to take your picture, you're never actually going to get a very good picture. But usually you ask for them to do just a couple, please. And then you put a lot of filters on it, and anything that is unseemly is hilarious or
so as
totally
you type
candid.
these, every time you type a sentence, there's no return or anything. It's just the keyboard. Every time you type a sentence, it just disappears. And then you keep typing, and it keeps disappearing. And right around when you get to this section of your mini tutorial on how to take a good selfie and like how much is a good number to be able to assess your ability, you just get the like shock-faced emoji that morphs into the horror-faced emoji that then morphs into the just like sobbing face emoji. And then it goes, okay.
Oh, a millennial made this app.
And your thing goes, and it looks like there's an animation of an explosion, and then your phone bricks itself.
Can I hit the call button?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna need someone to come over here, preferably the person who gave me the business card, because their app is faulty, and my phone is a brand new iPhone 12, and I have the most storage you can have, plus extra external drives, so there is no reason why it should be crashing. And I did not install this app. I did not see any terms of services, and I did not consent. And I learned last semester that consent is important.
I'm glad last semester was a momentous one. So the poor flight attendant who's kind of stumbled over and is looking at you and kind of looks at you when you say that is like, we don't have Wi-Fi or an app. I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am, but like we said the last 3 times we went over this, you're gonna have to wait until you're checked in and you have your guest token.
No, because I learned from Instagram stories that this is gaslighting. That actually, I was given a business card with the password, and I'm gonna get it right now. It's just, it's in my purse. Give me 1 second.
Give me a roll to go digging in your purse, please.
I rolled a 1.
A 3. You go digging in your purse and you cannot find this business card. There's not even like a business card size piece of paper in your purse to be found.
You know what? I'll tell you what. My mom is a strong, assertive white woman, and she has always taught me to speak with the manager or with the employee that you've seen the most. So the employee that brought me the oat milk boozy latte with glitter sugar, that person gave me the Wi-Fi password that I used, and it opened an app without my consent. And I would like to either speak to that employee or a manager or both at your earliest convenience. Thank you.
And you get the look up and down, and the flight attendant, who's clearly just at the end of the rope with you, goes, we don't have to serve you booze until we actually land on the moon. Until then, this is considered Earth proper, and in no way are you 21. And there's no one who's working on my team by that name. If you brought something on this plane, hold on 1 second. And she turns around and she quickly goes and rummages and she brings you a couple pieces of paper. One of them is, this is our policy on drinks that are not purchased through cabin crew. Here is all of the global repercussions that you would face if you got too drunk on a flight and if you were found to be in violation. And she just goes through in the most obnoxious way all of the potential consequences that you would face bringing your own booze onto the plane.
I'm not going to say anything unless a lawyer is present.
That seems a little extreme. We don't need to get lawyers involved. But no matter what, we still don't have a Wi-Fi network. There's just no Wi-Fi in space.
No, it's fine. Can I just get a Shirley Temple with 3 cherries then, please? Thank you.
Yes, I will go find some cherries for you.
It's on my dad's card. Thanks.
And what's your last name again?
Poinsettia.
Oh, we definitely have cherries. Would you like a whole jar of cherries? We'll be happy to bring. Oh, hold on. Let me go, and we'll bring you all the cherries that are on the plate. and the flight attendant rushes away, clearly in a panic.
Thank you.
Roland, your phone, all of a sudden, very abruptly, decides to resurrect itself by playing Welcome to the Jungle. But like the 8-bit version of Welcome to the Jungle. And as it's playing, you notice that it's whoever has programmed this phone, your app, whatever is going on, as you look at it, there is a series, it's like almost staff music, like the way that it would be set up. But instead of the traditional way that we look at notes, somebody has just drawn little lines. And it looks like a repeating pattern. Would you like to do a roll to potentially read the music or understand music theory?
Sure.
Okay, give me a
I mean, it seems kind of out of character for a business major to have any sort of understanding of music theory, but...
What?
It seems kind of out of character for a business major to have any understanding of music theory.
Well, it's more to see if you recognize like any kind of pattern, like a musical pattern or something in this
Large
presentation.
mathematical business crossover.
I got a 6.
4. So, what would you like your new out-of-character skill to be? Because, like, you don't know. He may have had a soul before, he became Roland. No, Roland Frederick III was pretty much born soulless, wasn't he? Man.
Yeah.
To Roland.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you like me to tell you what you learn from it first, and then you can try and figure out what the...
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
So as you're looking at this, you realize that it's displaying itself to the beat of Welcome to the Jungle, but as it gets to one certain part, you realize that this probably is not like the music to Welcome to the Jungle. It is definitely a repeating pattern of these kind of like representative slashes and figures that are meant to sort of look like music, but you really don't think it is Welcome to the Jungle. You're not sure what it is or why it's being shown to you in this context. But, that's sometimes how the weirdness rolls. So, would you like to sit there and listen to the accompaniment? Do you do anything? What's your response to your business phone being hijacked?
I'm probably going to give up on it and try and sleep until we get there and just buy a new one when we get to the moon.
So where do you want to put it?
Just like on the tray table in front of me. Yeah.
You can still hear Welcome to the Jungle playing on repeat, and it's the one part at the very beginning that everyone knows. And Mia and Maximilian, you can definitely hear this. It's kind of rude that somebody is playing like a video or something. Except, Maximilian, you look like you're kind of vibing to it. Kind of like reminding you.
I mean, that's why I think that there should be, a nonprofit that gives out old airplane headphones to people that don't have headphones. Use headphones. Wear your headphones. I'm not playing a game without headphones. I'm not going to listen to my podcast without headphones.
Roland, this is very clearly increasingly directed at you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna flag down somebody and ask them to just get rid of it. Make it somebody else's problem.
You try and pass your phone off, and the flight attendant looks at you very severely and says, Mr. the Third, we would really request that you silence your phone, but we're not going to take your phone from you. Please turn it off.
All right. Can I try and turn it off? I assume that doesn't work.
Absolutely. So roll to turn off the phone.
All right.
A 1.
Another 6.
You got a 6?
What, do you have a weighted die?
Amazing. Oh, wait,
it was
you
a different
didn't...
die, so no.
So now you have actually two skills that you need to identify. What's the one from the sort of music?
I guess it's just read between the lines.
I like that. So you have read between the lines 2 for that one. And for this one, please describe to me all the things you do to try and turn this phone off, because the normal ways don't work.
Okay, alright, well obviously I've mashed the power button. I've tried holding down all the buttons at once. I've tried looking to see if there's like one of those like reset buttons you need a pin to get into. I've tried tapping the screen many times in various different combinations and ways. I've obviously tried hitting it because that's what you do with technology when it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You just give it a whack.
You just give it a
That
whack.
doesn't seem to do much.
Yep. You just you give it the good old, you know what? It's gonna just boop, and to your shock, it goes, oh, warm, and turns off.
Oh, okay.
And that leaves you and the flight attendant looking at each other, kind of like, okay, you did what I wanted, and you're still proffering the phone, like, please take it away from me. And she goes, have a nice flight. We're landing in about an hour. And turns around to take care of someone else, and as soon as she is out of sight, Welcome to the Jungle starts playing again.
Oh my god.
Mia, Welcome to the Jungle is like so old. It's so ancient. It's so hairy. Like you can hear the hair as it plays. And like this dude has had this playing on repeat for forever at this point. Rude.
Yeah. So I don't know why everyone on this airplane is so ancient. And
You got knocking on heaven's door, man? Can you play that?
Roland, you've been given a request. Maddie, Mia, your sort of reverie and your thoughts on this, because this was gearing up to be an amazing ranty TikTok. Like you could just feel it in your bones. You could just feel that you were like building up to an amazing point. You were gonna get 100,000 views, and then this dude just undercut you. He's so old.
I don't understand why every boomer, and hashtag not all men, but definitely a lot of men have to behave in public as if it is just their own personal Marriott, but also a dive bar at the same time. And
Hey, honey, I understand you're all woke, okay? I got excommunicated from the Harvard philosophy department for a reason, and it's kids like you, all right? Grow up, get it together. Those are good songs, and we're gonna listen to some more classic rock. You got Stairway to Heaven?
Sir, you're yelling on an airplane.
We're not on an airplane. This is a spaceship.
I wonder if maybe the etiquette problem was maybe part of the reason you aren't working.
This is like 6 days of travel. There are no rules. We went past rules on day 3.
Maybe you did. So I don't know why I would take the advice of getting it together from someone who, look at that mustache. It's laughable. It's laughable, really. But if you could please keep it down. I am going to put my AirPods back in and just imagine that I'm listening.
Why don't you go listen to a bunch of celebrities sing the song Imagine? It sounds like a thing you'd be into.
Listen, it went viral and it sent a message.
So Mia and Maximilian, I would like you to give me both a roll. You're gonna get a like generational overlap roll, essentially. So tell me what. Roll 1d6.
You
rolled a 6.
I rolled a 6.
I rolled a 6 too.
What?
So I'm gonna leave it up to you individually. Mia, would you like to come to an understanding with this old fart? Or would you like for your disdain of him to take up residence in your soul and grow as an ember?
You know, I don't want to say this because this is bad for women, but I also just started my period on this airplane trip, and this is just not the day. You know, today was just not the day. So I would like to harbor resentment for this boomer.
Okay, so Mia basically goes, not today, boomer. Not today. You tried the wrong one. What is your resulting power?
Division.
So Mia coming in strong with a division 2. Monsieur Moustache, how do you see this playing out?
I don't know, man. It's weird. Like on Molly, I can still get annoyed at people, but it doesn't last that long. So, I mean,
It's very fleeting.
everything's great. We're all headed to the moon. Ariana Grande. That's all I gotta say.
So what do you want your resulting power to be? Make peace, not war? Do you want...
I want to be good at small talk.
Oh, small talk. All right, small talk too. I like it. So we leave this with Mia just being like, I can't with boomers. I just can't. Instant headache. I'm out, but I did come out on top of that altercation. Boomer could not, come up with a comeback. It was just like, oh, so boomery. Monsieur Moustache, you think like that was fine. Like we all have disagreements. Sometimes like we can just vibe. It's fine. It's cool. We made maybe a connection. And Roland, you're just kind of watching this like I am an adult human who is gainfully employed, who makes really big business deals and is set up to make even bigger ones. Don't need any of this.
True, I don't. I'm just trying to ignore all of this nonsense that's going on around me. I'm trying to continue percussive maintenancing my phone, and failing that, if that doesn't work, I'm just gonna stuff it in the overhead and hope that that muffles it enough.
You try that and you can still hear it. It is piercing and it goes through everyone, including everyone's skull. So you are actually forced to retrieve it. And when you look at your phone, it is a picture of somebody who looks vaguely familiar. And it says, "Hi, I'm Mia. Ask me about building brands and influencer things. Thank you."
I know about building brands. I have built so many brands in my lifetime. So, can I go and flush it in the toilet?
You can. Absolutely. You get up right as you're walking through. Give me a roll real quick. 3?
3.
Ooh, very nice. We both rolled a 3. So as you're walking by, you have to, Monsieur Moustache, you're kind of sitting, they're staggered seats. So it's like one of those things where the rows, when they're split, aren't even. They're kind of like this. So when you get out, you kind of get out and you look and you see this Monsieur Moustache guy is like sitting there. You turn around and you kind of brush by the seat that Mia is sitting in. And as soon as you do that, Mia's phone starts singing Welcome to the Jungle. Your phone stops. Mia, your phone, how dare it? Rude.
Can I try muting the ringers on it?
any button or thing that you try and push / like operation that you're used to using on the iPhone, because at this point the whole phone is a phone. You can use it front and back. There is only touchscreen. There are no buttons or anything ever anymore. There is one tiny, 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 tiny little pinhole that you can use to reset if everything goes to hell. But no matter what you try, except for that physical one, it just continues playing Welcome to the Jungle. And occasionally it throws up like a little dude going, "Welcome to Jungle." And you get the sense that it's mocking you. Just a little bit. A little bit.
I already drank my drink, so I can't put it in my drink.
Why don't you sit on it? That should work.
Excuse me? Are you talking to me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a brand new iPhone.
Give me a contested roll. I assume, Mia, you're going for Division 2, and I assume, Monsieur Mustache, you're going for Small Talk 2.
Yeah.
And Roland, if you have anything to add to this altercation, you're welcome to, or you can hang back and just kind of observe.
I'm going to go back to my seat. I'm just trying to ignore what's going on around me.
You're just going to be really glad that your phone is no longer singing Welcome to the Jungle.
I rolled a 4 and a 2.
Oh, I have to roll 2 dice?
Yes, you got,
Okay, I got it. Oh, 6 and a 3.
So, Monsieur Mustache kind of senses your divisiveness, like, sees your anger, and it's kind of something in him is kind of like, oh, I know that anger. I've been there. Not the same, like, reasons or the same influence or whatever, but, like, man, I've seen your anger. I got you. And you feel a little bit of your hostility towards him kind of melts away, and you feel like, oh, okay, I'm not going to win this fight. I may have overstepped here. And Mia, too, you do get a point of experience for that, for failing that roll.
Okay.
I am, by the way, going to call that second skill percussive maintenance.
Percussive maintenance?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
So I don't mean to, like, imply that, like, because you, like, worked in philosophy that you're poor or anything, sir. But I was wondering if maybe you had a spare, like, safety pin or something to that's like small that I could put in the little tiny hole on my phone. I just, nothing of mine needs mending, so like I was wondering.
Hey, I know, like, I appreciate your passion. I see it all. I see myself in you, and I want you to know that I have a lot of safety pins in my wallet. You never know. Okay, and that's not because I'm poor. It's just because I'm ready, all right? So, yeah, you can borrow. Yeah, hey, you can even have one. I'm going to give you a safety pin.
Thank you. That's really kind.
Better to have a safety pin and not need it than need a safety pin and not have it. You know who said that? Nietzsche.
Oh, is that his handle?
Yeah, whatever.
Is it at NEECHUH?
Oh, nice. We get a die phone here.
Do write down that you have a safety pin.
Okay.
Because you can basically, with something like this, with an item that's given with this sort of gravity, you can, if you can justify using it or call on it some way in a scene, depending on what's happening, I'll probably give you an extra die. So if you can use it in a creative way, you can probably get an extra die in the future. Maybe. We'll see how that goes.
All right. So do I need to roll to try to use the safety pin on my phone?
Yes, you would need to try to roll to use the safety pin to reset it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can I do that right now?
Yes. I don't think you can justify
Yeah, I can't.
either of those.
Yeah, I rolled a 5.
The house rolled a 2. So you use the safety pin it takes a second. Like, for a second, you're like, man, is this even too small for a safety pin? But then you hit it just right and it slips in and hits the button. And all of a sudden, all 3 of your foes give this piercing, awful, awful screeching sound. And it's so loud. It's almost like it builds in your skull. Like, at first you're just like, ow, 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 that really hurts. And then the longer it goes on, you're like, no, but like, that really hurts. Like, I really think you might be doing some damage here internally. To the point where you're like, man, the glass has to be breaking. Like, this is awful. It brings you to your knees. It causes the lights to flicker. Everything goes dark, and you hear that, like, zoom sound when all of the power fails. And then all of a sudden, it's a breath, a breath, a breath. And the emergency lighting comes on. And everything is done in really low, alternating, like, red, blue, with some purple in between. And when you look around, you're still on the shuttle. But it looks, like, really weird. And there's no one except the 3 of you standing there in this dark red, blue, purple lighting, and your cell phones all gleaming extremely bright against just white background. What's up, y'all? What do you do?
I'm gonna start looking around for stuff, mashing call buttons and stuff.
Can I just ask you guys, it is really weird lighting, right? This is not just the drugs that I took.
No, it's really dim.
I feel like somebody of your generation would like this lighting. You'd call it fleet or something.
No, it's called bisexual lighting because it's red and blue and purple, but that's fine. It's kind of 2017.
Everyone give me a roll to keep your footing.
1 die?
I don't think anyone has anything that can really help them. So yes, 1 die.
I rolled a 1.
4.
A 4, a 1, and a...
4.
Mia, what did you roll?
1.
Oh, 2 1s and a 4. You all go flying. All of a sudden, the entire place just kind of, it's almost like the shuttle moves around you, but forgot to take you with it, is the sensation of sort of weightlessness and creepiness. And then all of a sudden, you all find yourselves thrown up against the main bulwark, and you're all laying in a heap at the very, very front of the cabin. And when you kind of shake your heads and come up, you realize, the shuttle was taken from this sort of slingshot maneuver and abruptly stopped. You were prepared for an abrupt stop to happen, but it's a controlled burn to stop it. It's sort of, you strap in, you lean forward, and it's a fairly smooth process. This was like somebody pulled the emergency brake and stopped everything dead. And if you look out the portal, you can see the moon in all of its beautiful glory, with the resort that takes up the entirety of Mare Imbrium, just sitting down there in a nice little inviting bubble with beautiful, beautiful gleaming lights. And here you are, on a transport space shuttle, with no one else around when they were quite literally just here. What you gonna do, y'all?
Can I clarify? So we're some distance away from the resort. Is that?
Yeah, you're essentially if you were on Earth, you would be in like a geosynchronous orbit type thing. Like, you've stopped, basically where the hard burn would stop to kind of like slow you down and then bring you in for a landing. Instead of doing that sort of hard burn to go into the landing, somebody pulled the emergency brake and just went stop, just dead stop. So you were just in space over the moon, looking down at it. It's very gray. It looks very cold, but like, man, where are all the people that were on the shuttle?
All right. Well, I'm gonna just like try and walk up to the cabin.
To the where the pilots are?
The flight control area business.
So Roland's gonna bring all of his business acumen to bear. And it's gonna take charge of the situation, and it's just gonna straight up and knock on the pilot's cabin. Give me a roll.
6.
A 5. So you banged very authoritatively on the pilot's door. What is your goal in doing this? Were you just trying to alert them? Were you trying to like maybe open the door? What was the? What did you?
Well, so I want to like check if there's anybody still in the cabin, and if not, try and like find my way to a radio or something.
To a radio. Cool. Perfect. Where did my... Oh, here it is. I have a pin. What do you want to call... So, what happens is you go to bang on the door very authoritatively. It's to be like, I am Roland Frederick III. Let me in. Kind of a deal. And as you pound on the door, your fist goes through it like it's paper. Because it is. It's... Somebody spent a lot of money printing a paper door. What? And then you tear through it and you get a look in the cockpit and there's no one in there. It's what you would expect from a shuttle cockpit. A little bit roomier, actually, than you would expect, with like a sleeping cabin in the back where the pilots can switch off. There's 2 pilot seats, pilot and a co-pilot, even though the... all of the gear and stuff are interchangeable, so it's symmetrical. Whatever is on one side is also on the other. The only place that is different is the central panel that exists between the 2 pilots has all of the singular systems on it. But like there are 2 shuttle joysticks / wheels. There are 2 like accelerators and whatever, but the left side would be the pilot side and the right side would be the co-pilot. But yeah, your fist just goes right through it like it's paper, and you actually pull it away, and yeah, it was just a paper... Somebody put paper mache, basically, over the pilot's door.
Alright, well, I guess I'll call that breaking the 3rd wall.
Love it.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna like try and look at things and see if I can work out like a radio thing.
There are 2 radios on either side.
Yeah.
Very
so
good
I'm
radios.
gonna smash buttons until those work, and maybe throw puzzle maintenance in the mix.
Mia and Maximilian, you see Roland walk up, and he's like, I've got this. And he walks up, and he goes to knock on the door, and it just goes straight through, tearing through paper. And everyone's kind of shocked by this. But then Roland does what every good businessman does, and forges ahead in the situation, and starts, like, he picks up the one radio and starts, like, trying to speak into it. Nothing really happens, so he starts hitting random buttons. What do y'all do?
Well, I want to take a look at that apparatus, because if it's anything like an Atari, I think I can land this thing.
Okay, Maximilian's gonna fly the plane. Mia?
I want to look in the jump seats for the flight attendants and also in the cabin to see if there's any cell phones that they've left behind. Because if I connected to Wi-Fi, that means that they would have it. And they were trying to save face earlier. I was connected to the internet. So maybe that's a way to communicate and get attention at the Moon Resort.
Truly flawless logic. Can't fault you for it. Give me a roll to... we'll first search the flight attendants stuff.
I rolled a 2.
2. I rolled a 5. So you search the flight attendant stuff and you come up with nothing, but that's also kind of weird because it's like there's nothing electronic in any of the bags. It's all clothes and stuff like that, even the little travel bags. But give me like, well, you don't have any skills. Give me a kind of like what we would consider a DNA, like a perception roll, just a roll to see how much. You don't find the specific thing that you were looking for, which is like more phones and more evidence of all of this. But give me a perception roll to see if you find anything else in the bags.
I rolled another 2.
And I rolled 1. So you dig through the bags and you can't find anything, and you're like, this is kind of weird because like there's not even like an unused tablet, there's not a charger, nothing electronic in any of these bags that you look at. And then you realize as you're going through each bag has basically the exact same contents to it in a way that doesn't feel like it's just uniforms or it's just something that the company gave you. In a way that feels like, oh, somebody went out and like mass bought a bunch of stuff and staged this. Like it feels like somebody thought that you wouldn't do this, essentially. But in the last bag, the one that was kind of closest to where you were sitting, and the one flight attendant, the 2 flight attendants that came up and helped you, you find what is very clearly like their twin bag, because it's the exact same bag except one of them has purple accents and one of them has magenta accents because we twin code everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you but it's the same bag, but it's got like 2 separate sides to it, and as you're digging through it you come to a card, and it's just like a tiny little piece of clearly torn off of some sort of like heavy cardstock, and written on it like very clearly, very fast, is "We like your feed, good luck," with a smiley face.
Can I try to get on the walkie-talkie? Because if there's a sort of radio in the cockpit, I feel like I am the expert in this group, no offense, at crafting a message and, just being, a wordsmith and being convincing, because this seems like, this has never happened to me on a flight before. This could be dangerous.
So you buzz for, you're like, get me to the radio. So you're going to have to do a contested roll between Roland, who is very, very, very convinced that his business leadership really gives him everything that he needs to take control of the situation, figure out the radio. He's been poking at buttons for a while. So Roland and Mia, do a contested roll if you have anything that can help you. Any of your accumulated skills, let me know.
I'm gonna influence. I'm gonna try to influence him.
That's a good one. Roland, do you have anything to counter this influence?
Breaking the third world probably doesn't really work on characters.
I think you could say that reading between the lines, you could read something like potentially shaky about Mia. You could read between Mia's lines and prevent her from accessing it. So I think you can really justify a 2v2 here. So give me a 2v2 contested roll.
I rolled a 1 and a 5.
So we got tied 6s. So the two of you, you basically, Mia shoves forward and is like, give me that, and yanks it out of Roland, ignoring the fact that there is a second radio, just like waiting for someone to pick it up. You walk in, you yank it through, and you start talking, and Roland's like, that doesn't work, I've already tried that. And you both end up, like, Mia keeps trying to push buttons and be like, well, maybe this will work. And Roland's like, yeah, I've done that. I've done all of that. And Mia just won't listen to you. So it's a very frustrating place of being. And you end up tussling over the radio. And eventually it comes apart in your hands. And Roland, you end up with like the really nice long curly cord. And Mia, you end up with the actual like held mouthpiece. And no one has managed to get a radio out. And all of a sudden you hear the little chime. All of you hear a chime on your phones that goes ring. And you hear, we are not working with the materials that have been given to us. We had such high hopes for you too. Aww. Off into like nothingness. And with that awe comes, you know that Facebook bubble thing when you do like a thumbs up where it goes and then does the thumbs up? The awe, there's a bubble on screen that kind of like goes and then all of your phones go and go right to black.
I mean, we just keep ending up in this situation where we don't have the technology that we need, so I think we just need to go fly this plane. Luckily, there's no snakes on this plane, but I can fly this plane.
And the second that you say that, you hear a pneumatic hiss. Psst. And all of a sudden, do we all remember that one Britney Spears iconic performance? In yes. The green tiny ensemble and the albino giant boa constrictor. You say that and you see a boa constrictor just like doot, 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 doot. It doesn't try and mess with any of you. It doesn't do anything. It just bloop, 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 down through the little vent it came out of. It almost feels like the vent goes and closes behind it, and it just casually starts making its way down the aisle, and you all kind of do this like that thing in the pilots where you're looking down as it's just casually making its way to the back of the plane like it does that every day. This motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
I feel like it's like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. If you think about it, it's gonna happen. So just try to keep it mellow, everybody.
A marshmallow flies out of nowhere and thunks you in the forehead.
Well, it seems like the only things that are happening are the things that you're thinking of, Dr. Philosophy.
Maybe it's my superpower.
And then all of a sudden, throughout the whole of the shuttle goes, "Am I Superman?" And then just shuts off.
Okay, well, if your superpower is that, then think about flying this, because I don't know what's going to happen if my dad is at the hotel and I am not there.
The front screen of the shuttle goes dark, and you realize, oh, this wasn't like the front screen of like a plane where there's actual, see-through material in the front. This was actually it's a projection of cameras that are set outside of the shuttle. I knew
it was a simulation. There's just no way that you could go to the moon for $60,000. There's just no way. I don't care if Travelzoo said they have good deals. That's not possible.
I'm going to be suing people for false advertising. It's ridiculous.
This is not the experience you were promised, like, for sure.
Not even slightly.
And the visuals...
How are we going to invest in going to the moon if there's no moon?
I mean, so here's the thing. Do you know that there's a moon out there?
I mean, some people...
Is there a moon, period, end of story?
People believe that the moon landing was kind of like the first influencer stunt.
Mia, please give me an influencer 2 roll. to see how deep into the influencer conspiracy theories that you truly are.
I rolled a 4 and a 5.
I rolled a 5 total. So you're like, you know what? I may actually be onto this. Like, you remember that somebody. So there's this one fan that you have who is one of your earliest fans. So, but like one of those weird accounts that doesn't quite understand boundaries, but not in a way that made you feel like this person's like 2 seconds away from stalking me, and more of the way like, oh, this is a person who like in real life isn't great with conversations, and in interview life is also not great with conversations.
Listen, people who have difficulty with social boundaries and social anxiety, who don't understand that parasocial relationships are not friendships, actually are really great for the algorithm because they will always engage, and then you show up in their feed more. So like, I'll take it as long as they like don't want me to send them used underwear. But yeah, he basically, like, we use media to like shape the world, so we can tell people something is true. And if you say a set of words over and over again and you package it intelligently, it becomes truth to someone. And so it like continues to gain momentum and becomes a part of the world that's undeniable, even if it was ultimately like fabricated. And so, yeah, that's kind of like the power of media. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, I'm saying the moon landing was fake. So if the moon landing was fake, maybe the moon is fake. Or maybe there's something on the moon that is like the NXIVM guy or something. And they're like trying to like, I don't know, make us feel really lulled into false sense of security so they won't know that we're like part of like a sex ring. I mean, I think I'd know if I was in a sex ring on the moon, but like, you don't know, you know?
What did they do to you, children? What did they do to you, children? I mean, this is just like clearly the average anthropological experiment. They're probably going to compensate all of us for our time. They just wanted to see how excited we were and how we were going to get along if things got crazy. It makes a lot of sense. You see a lot of this in the Ivy League, those research facilities.
I mean, this does feel a lot like MK Ultra. You're not wrong. Roland, do you have any thoughts on this like conspiracy theory that's just been thrown at you?
I mean, I don't know about that whole the moon landing was fake thing. I don't know. That doesn't sound like good business.
Well, especially considering that they're trying to open a really nice resort on the moon. But
are they though? I need to know if my business, like, I need to, like, can I invest in it or not? You know, like.
So as you're sitting there listening to this conspiracy theory, the view screen, which had gone dark and was just showing you this like gunmetal gray with the projection material over it, boots up into the same screen as your phone. And if you look at your phones, everything is mirroring one another. It's like it's all on the same broadcast. And somebody types in on the chat, "You are making this so hard to help you. You have everything you need. Pay attention." And then it just dissolves into nothing, and back in front of you is that same, what you are realizing may in fact be a screensaver of the moon.
Sounds like a therapist I dated like 5 years ago. She always said that you're always looking for more, but you have what I need. I didn't get it then, and I don't get it now.
Yeah, it's kind of like the ending of that really, really old black and white movie, The Wizard of Oz, where they said anything you want is in your backyard. It's like, no, that's the point. Like, we didn't call it The Wizard of Kansas. That would be just about the KKK. So, like, why is the whole ending of the movie just her saying that she had it all along. Because
that story is really just about the Industrial Revolution.
I mean, I guess that's the messaging that people have been told.
I mean, I don't know, Roland, what do you think? You're the businessman. I defer to you.
I am quite ambivalent about having Monsieur Moustache defer to me.
Roland, I feel like you basically look at Mr. Mustache and you're like, I don't do work for free. And you just like basically refuse to answer. You're just like,
Yeah, I guess. Should we try to see if we can like get off?
Poke at my phone a bit more and see if it does things.
I don't know, Monsieur Mustache. Do you want to try and open one of the doors to the outside? Because there is one door to the outside at the very front of this next to the
I mean, I feel like they're either gonna show us a good movie and give us some popcorn. They're either gonna take us to the moon, or it's like over. Like, what is this? Like, I came for an experience. So, I want to see where we are. Maybe we're in Acapulco.
So Mia, Roland, you see that Monsieur Mustache decides to go for the door and to open it. What is your response? How do you feel about this?
You know what? Let's say this is fake. Let's say this is an experiment. Well, I did not consent to being studied. I did not agree to it. And like, if I were a scientist running a super tech heavy experiment, I think I would be really upset if the tech somehow mysteriously got broken. So I think before we bust out of here, I think we should break some shit.
So you want to go full Beyonce?
They broke my phone.
Your phone is bricked except for what's showing up on it, and like you had a really nice selfie on that phone.
It's my work, and they broke it. They lost me opportunity. So why don't I think it's only fair.
So Roland, Mia's argument is, I mean, sure, let's open the door, but first, how about we leave a little bit of redecoration in our wake? Monsieur Moustache, your thoughts?
I mean, if you got to let the rage out, go ahead. I've been there. I've done that. I'm cool with just like getting out of here and going to like chill, eat some pasta.
Monsieur Moustache chooses Molly. And
I'm going to say that I should be the one to open the door, because opening doors is really like gone. Well is probably not the right phrasing for it, but if this one turns out to be paid for food, then at least I've got some experience with it.
So Roland has offered himself to be the door opener. How does everyone feel about this? Are we good with that? Do we want to contest him for his door opener abilities? Have we decided to open the door?
Yeah, we can open it. I'm just gonna like key the screens with like my safety pin real quick.
So you key the safety pin, and the whole prompt menu kind of folds in on of itself and then comes up in this very like comforting sort of blue color. It's like very chill, very oceany, very like everything's gonna be okay. And it asks you like, hey, glad to see you again. Glad you're checking in. What's your safe word?
In some places, this could be considered assault.
Please register your safe word for the system so that it knows how to keep you safe and best serve your needs. What's your safe word?
Jungle.
That came out really quickly, sir. I'm learning things about you I did not need to know.
And the system says, Frederick III Roland, we have your safe word on file. Thank you for telling us that we are up to date. Mia, influencer, please insert your safe word after the beep. Do 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 do. Beep. That was the beep.
Cow milk.
Your safe word is cow milk. Bing. Monsieur Mustache Maximilian, what is your safe word?
Trigger warning.
I'm sorry. Trigger warning is unavailable due to the proliferance of Killer Mike. He's great. Please choose another non
Garlic breath.
garlic breath. Deeply pleasant to some, deeply disturbing to others. Thank you for registering your safe word. So everyone has a safe word on file now. So, Maximilian, you're fine with Roland opening the store? We're good?
Yeah. Yep.
Mia, we're good with opening the door? Maximilian, give me a roll to open the door. Is there
You mean me?
anything that you can use to help you in this endeavor?
You want Roland to roll or me?
I think Roland wanted to open the door, who said
Okay.
that
Yeah.
Roland's opening the door.
Yeah,
I do feel like you could potentially...
well, obviously breaking the third wall.
Yep,
All three.
for sure.
4 and a 6.
Tied. So you go to open the door, and it's not paper. It is solid, and you start kind of like throwing your body against it. And you seem like you almost are maybe are making some progress. It seems like it might be jarring, and then all of a sudden your phone starts vibrating in your pants, like slow, and then quick, and then
I didn't ask
quicker,
that.
and then with an intensity you were like, "That's even weird for a phone." And then
Can I
all
use
of
my
a
safe word
sudden,
now?
hmm?
Can I use my safe word now?
Yes, you can. Do you want to use your safe word?
No, I'm kind of joking. I think I'll leave.
Okay, so you don't use your safe word. And it escalates kind of in tandem with you throwing your body at the door. And then all of a sudden it reaches a crescendo, and this like electric shock travels through your body, starting at the cell phone. And it paralyzes you and just courses through all of your muscles and makes them, all very much contract and then relax and then contract at like a really rapid rate. And weirdly, kind of pleasant. Might be learning some things about you. Might be something you already know. Who knows? But it causes you to go rigid, and Mia and Maximilian, you kind of watch in bemusement as mid-strike, Roland suddenly freezes and then just topples over with like the weirdest half smile on his face. What do you do?
Well, I guess I'm glad I let him open the door. Do you think he has one of those safety pin reset holes?
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you just making an anal sex joke to me? I'm 20. I'm a
It
child.
was not an anal sex joke. It was like you used the safety pin in your phone. I thought that would like register with your technological personality.
I'm sorry. You don't know the lived experience of a woman. But in my women's gender theory history class I took last semester, there's this thing called patriarchy, and so I am very just on edge right now.
All right, well, can you do me a favor and just see if there's a call button on any of the seats so we can maybe, I don't know, get some assistance? I don't know what to do with Roland. It's like, this person's like
I mean, what if we use the system so we can gain a better understanding of it, so we either know how to break it or know how to like use the software?
Hey
Because I
man,
think we're just like inside an app, basically.
I'm into books. If you got the computer thing figured out, I want you to give it a shot because
All
it's not really
three
my
of the
area.
phones start singing Welcome to the Jungle and showing that same animation that was on Roland's phone from the beginning. It is a chorus of Welcome to the Jungle.
Um,
Wait, you know this song, right?
of course, everybody knows this song.
Okay. I don't. I know that it got used in a Destiny's Child vintage song from the 90s, but I think you need to sing along with it because if it's about the jungle, that's Roland's safe word.
I
And then
Why
all
do
of a
you know
sudden,
his-
from behind you, you hear a kind of a guitar riff. And behind you is a symbol of a guitar and like a vector kind of illustrating a guitar. And the animation starts showing up at the very front of the shuttle in like a very pulsing like welcome to the jungle kind of a way.
Like Guitar Hero or like karaoke?
Both.
Okay.
No specific thing, but like it's the most interaction you've seen other than like the times when it's directly talking to you. But it just seems like really into this guitar, and all of a sudden Hangman pops up.
Oh, I hate this
Beside
game.
And it's dash 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 dash, and so you're staring at it like, what?
It's a puzzle, I'm guessing. All right. Are you
How
gonna
many
tell us how
dashes are there?
Yeah. How many dashes we got?
They keep changing. They haven't settled into one thing, but it's very
Oh,
clearly
this is like dial-up AOL, man. I mean, if you're gonna get people excited about Hangman, you can't slow roll them. You got to give it to us.
Yep, but
I
it's
mean-
still slowly loading, slowly starting to add more spaces, and it looks like once it gets to the end of the space, it might start at the beginning and slowly replace it.
I mean, I don't
well,
know.
I mean, well, this happened because I said Roland's safe word. Right?
Is it?
I mean,
why
I
would
mean, I guess
you say hey? Why would you saying his safe word do anything? That's his safe word, man.
because he's not safe. And so I was trying to make him safe.
Do you know what a safe word is?
The second you say that he's not safe, Roland's juvie record starts scrolling on the screen. And it seems that Roland has a very, very, very colorful backstory from when he was like roughly, we'll go 13 to about 16.
Wow. It was such a long time ago.
But also, every single one of these charges makes you want to be like, Roland, my dude, here's a beer, tell me a story.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Especially
seeing-
that one about skinny dipping in Lake Okanawa.
I mean, you do enough math and you forget that he's my dad's age. And like, that does sound like a fun night objectively. Like when you're young and not like saggy or being weird about it.
Roland, you come from your insensate state where you've kind of been inundated with this not entirely pleasant but also not unpleasant sensation where you just kind of had to lay on the floor and be like, oh, okay, this is like a thing that's happening to me. And you roll over and the first thing you see is your juvie record in stark black and white right in front of you. That shit was supposed to be sealed? What the fuck?
Oh my gosh. Now I really need my lawyer. This is ridiculous. this isn't supposed to be public knowledge. I have rights. Like, what the is going on?
I mean, I won't make any of this public, like unless you actually like want to do like a sit down like episode on my YouTube channel and like talk about it. But like, I mean, you don't do any of the things that are actually like morally bad. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it just shows that it gave you some street smarts. I don't know. Makes me want to invest money in you, honestly.
I mean, it really just. Yeah, that's a really good question, actually.
There's a family house on the Cape, but that's it, really.
New England figures.
I'm surprised it's not in the Hamptons, to be honest.
A philosophy professor gave it away.
One of my ex-wives.
Monsieur Mustache, how many ex-wives do you have, just out of curiosity?
2. Just 2.
Just the 2?
Just the 2.
One that came really close?
One came close, but it turned out it didn't, it wasn't a legal marriage, so that would have been number 3, but it didn't pan out. Which was lucky, because I hate having to deal with lawyers. It's like embarrassing when you go back to the 3rd one. You feel pretty stupid. So it's all right. Just 2.
Yeah. My dad has had a couple wives, and the most recent one is closer in age to me than him. And like he just kind of banks on the fact that like my mom is a bitch, and like so like yeah, I'll go on a trip with him. That's what I remember, and that's what's so crazy about this whole thing, right? So I feel like someone lied to me, and whether it's this airline or it's my dad.
Are you upset about the Wi-Fi still? Is that what's going on?
I'm just very sensitive right now.
And then all of a sudden, the screen projecting in the front of the shuttle shuts down, and a hijacked like Zoom meeting type window pops up, and a disheveled person who's about Mia's age, maybe like 6 months to a year younger than Mia, but like clearly just a little bit younger, but of your cohort, pops up onto the screen and goes, "Me, it's all me, and I hate all of you, and you're not doing what you're supposed to do. I was told that you would suffer, and you're not suffering enough, so I am going to make you suffer." And they hit a little button, and she looks at you and she just starts laughing maniacally, and is like, "I turned off the life support. Wait, no!" And then disappears. And you look at each other, and then all of a sudden over the intercom comes, "Life support at 100% and falling."
I feel like this has got to be a simulation at this point, because legally, who would be doing this?
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's just a matter of what are they trying to study. And like clearly, like if they're using a young woman and she's not used as bait to hit on either of you old guys, no offense, clearly this part is like trying to get to me. And so I don't know if she's wanting me to perform suffering the way that Instagrammers and YouTubers do when they have to apologize and cry on camera and write in lowercase and say "coming clean," period, as their caption. So I don't know if I should give her what she wants in order to satisfy her, in order to like be
I think she's wrong.
altruistic.
This is insufferable with you. It's insufferable. So I don't know why she's saying I am suffering. So it's clearly, this is not meant for me. This simulation is meant for you.
I am on my period on a moon airplane with 2 old guys. And my dad lied to me, and my mom's a bitch, and now it's a big thing, and I don't have my phone, and I don't have
limited life support. You yammering is not going to do anything about it.
So, Mia and Roland, give me a contested roll. Roland, I don't know, is there anything that you have that you can throw at Mia and vice versa?
I mean, it's basically percussive maintenance,
Yeah,
right?
that's fair.
I'm gonna try to influence. I got 2 for influence, yeah.
I got a 6.
I rolled a 6 and a 5.
You should roll 2, Roland.
I did.
Oh.
That was true. Yeah.
So, Roland, you get a point of experience, because you technically lost that roll. And, Mia, how do you what track do you take with Roland to really put him back on his heels and make him feel your misery as if it is his own?
I guess,
because you can
reverse engineer empathy.
Well, you can also make Roland feel very self-conscious about like his business attire, because you use influencer to accomplish this, so you can make Roland feel very not
I was
influenced.
planning on doing the I'm very fragile, but I'm pretending to be strong. But the context we're in, starkness that can only be achieved through a black and white filter on an Instagram photo with way too long of a caption.
So, Roland, Mia is looking at you just with all of the emotion in her eyes. She's been through some stuff. She is influencing you to feel for her and her situation in a very sort of classical black and white kind of a way. How do you respond to this? How do you try and make it better? I mean,
I don't know. Usually I rely on my HR department to do this sort of thing.
So you reach into your bag and you pull out your manual for the HR, and it's you leaf to the section that says, well, what do I do if a coworker is in distress? And it says, make sure you maintain an appropriate distance from said coworker. So, Roland, I'm going to say that you follow.
I'm going to take a step back.
Can you give me a roll to see how well you follow the HR manual into taking care of this distraught 20-year-old?
1.
So you are going to follow it to a T and not deviate at all. So you, holding the manual in one hand, you approach an increasingly upset Mia, and you're reading from it, and it says things like, stay an appropriate distance. If you're confused, about an arm's length is good. So you like walk up and you make sure you're an arm's length away, and you start reading the script to Mia like, everything will be okay. Is there anything I can do to immediately change your situation? The answer to all of which are, no, you can't fucking help, Roland. And Monsieur Moustache, what are you doing while you watch the floor show?
I mean, this is why I'm attracted to young pop starlets, like this kind of fire, but it's also why I got divorced twice. So I feel like it leads me back to, it's like watching Maury Povich. I'm enjoying it.
So you're enjoying it, but you're also kind of like halfway stuck in a flashback to, how your most recent relationship fell apart. It wasn't great. And you're kind of standing there watching this back and forth, and all of a sudden you hear a person in your, right ear go, a really, really deep, sonorous voice goes, "Hey, baby." And you look over, and the snake from earlier is sitting there curled around a head seat, seemingly looking at Mia and Roland, just yelling at each other. And you kind of look from the snake to them, back to the snake, like, I mean, I've done a lot of Molly in my life. You've done, like, basically at this point all the drugs. You're just kind of like, this is a new one. Like, this is a novel experience. And eventually you make eye contact with Snake, and it kind of sits up and looks at you and goes, groovy, right? Wild what you humans get up to these days. And then the snake slithers down off the chair and just kind of disappears towards the pilot cabin. And so please give me a, like, how's that Molly holding up roll?
Yes. Yeah, let's do it. 1.
A 1?
Yeah.
I rolled a 2. So you're not, like, completely wildly out of whack, but you're like, this might be a special batch. I may have accidentally taken some Molly and, like, and some acid on top of it.
This might not have been a good choice for particular circumstances.
I mean, this may have been a bad idea. And you look up, and sure enough, at the back of the plane, as you're staring at it, it seems like there's kind of a kaleidoscope effect going on, and you see, like, oh, it's 5 snakes. You know what? What do you call this snake? What's its name?
The boa's name?
Mm-hmm.
Hector.
You're like, Hector, why are there 3 of you? Hector, there's 6. Hector, you're multiplying.
Guys, I think we got a motherfucking problem on this motherfucking plane. I think you guys are arguing about something that's completely irrelevant to the current situation. There are snakes on this plane.
I'm not even still sure it is a plane.
Well, the snake only came because you said something about that old Hollywood movie about the snakes on the airplane. So maybe if you you're a man, repress your thoughts, stop thinking.
Man, that's just not the right positive attitude. I thought you guys were all into crystals and positive energy and stuff. Where's that attitude?
That's not snakes.
I don't know, man.
Can I try and talk to Hector about what's going on?
I mean,
Where's
he's in
Hector?
the back. He's in the back. He's in the back. He's got a few compadres with him now, so I don't know.
Well, Hector went slithering off to the front, and all of the Hector's compadres that Monsieur Moustache is talking about are coming from the back. And look, Monsieur Moustache's... Everybody do a roll to see how well they take in Monsieur Moustache's report on the snakes that are coming for them. A 6, a 2, and a 2. Monsieur Moustache, what is your new feel? Because what happens, your new skill, because what happened was, you're telling Mia and Roland about these snakes are coming, and they start freaking out with you, and they look back, and they're ready to, like, go ham on these snakes, and they see nothing. And you're like, no, I'm telling you, there's, like, at least, like, 20, maybe 60 snakes coming at us. Somewhere in there. That seems like an accurate number to me. But they don't see them. But they also believe you, because, like, you're like, no, the way that you describe them, the way that you talk about them, it's like, no, this druggy boomer would absolutely not be making this much sense if they were actually on this many drugs. Like, there's something back there.
So I'm taking a skill?
You're taking a skill. You have successfully convinced them that there's at least something coming for them.
Oh, good. That's excellent. I think the skill I want is an oxygen mask. Is that a skill? It's not really a skill.
It's not really skill, but this would be more like truth seeing. This would be more like the drugs give you clarity type of a situation.
Drugs give you clarity is excellent.
So we're gonna go with drug clarity too. Small talk and drug clarity too are just like a really nice combination of skills.
You're just like the party guest.
So you talked to them about all these snakes, but like in that way that drug people are like, no, I'm absolutely seeing this. This is absolutely the real world. Like our real existence is the fake one, and this is the real one, and this is what we're supposed to hear. This is what we're here for. And like Mia and Roland, you're not quite sure about all of this. It seems like real dubious, but also, especially you, Mia, for your conspiracy brain. You're like, no, but this sounds. I believed worse. I believe worse than this. So, knowing that there is some sort of entity/threat, at the very least, interpreted through Monsieur Mustache's very drugged out brain. How do you prepare for this oncoming invasion? Roland, you're the businessman of the group. You have the leadership skills.
I feel like I'm ready with percussive maintenance, ready for the walls.
So do you prepare yourself? Do you like pick up a weapon, or are you just girding your loins, so to speak?
Okay, so what is there around the place? Like, there's not much loose.
There's not much loose, but you are near the flight attendant's cabin, where you've got, for example, a couple of pots of coffee are sitting there boiling. You've got a bunch of cans.
I have a blowtorch.
Do you want to find a blowtorch? Give me a roll to find a blowtorch.
2.
A 4. You go looking for a blowtorch, and you end up rummaging through a flight attendant's bag and find a lighter.
Fire!
So you have fire. You have
Alright,
fire.
I'm gonna confiscate that from
Make paid fire.
No, but I just don't trust you to use it.
You can have it. I share.
Monsieur Mustache is in a giving mood, and it's just like, I mean, there's a lot of them. I don't know what this is going to do, but here. So you have a lighter to guard yourself. There's the mini bottles. There's a small fire.
Safety pins.
Safety pin. Definitely a safety pin. You've got, what else do you have in that little area? Just lots of kind of.
Got some lip gloss.
Well, definitely.
Hairspray.
You've got hairspray. You could create a like little firebomb thing. You could create some Molotov cocktails. You've got the food, like the little food trays that you could potentially hurl at someone. Basically anything you find on a plane is here on this shuttle, and you can arm yourself with it. Meanwhile, Mr. Mustache, you look over and you're like, oh, they're like right here. They're like coming at us. I don't like it. And you back away. Do Mia and Roland follow? Roland, are you going to actually like step up and take this out?
So I can't see any of the fake snakes, right?
You only have what Monsieur Mustache relays back to you, but the closer that he says these things get, the more like the hair on the back of your neck starts prickling, and you start getting this feeling of just like something has walked over your grave, and you don't like it.
Okay. Can I just like flick the lighter on and like try and wave it and move up towards the cabin?
Yes, give me a roll for that.
All right.
Can you justify anything? Let's see, we got reading between the lines, might, breaking through.
Yeah, I'm reading between the lines here.
Yeah, I think you are. I think you're trying to figure out what's going on here.
I lost both of them. Hang on. 6 and a 4.
6 total. So you're kind of reading between the lines. You take the lighter and you go like this. And there's one point where you go through a space, and it feels really cold. And as the light goes on, it kind of flickers and goes down really, really low, but it doesn't go out. And there's like a weird kind of sheen to it. Like you went through a bit of space that was reflecting off a gas cloud or something. that was maybe moving towards you, and the light catches this kind of cloud and it goes, and you see it. It's almost like if you've ever seen lightning snaking through a cloud cover. The clouds kind of, they kind of like, you see the lightning move through the clouds and it illuminates the cloud a little, and you watch as where you pass through, the fire ignites the cloud. And it does look almost snake-like the way that this cloud is clearly moving forward like this. It ignites all the way to the back and then seems to kind of dissipate.
Okay. That's a worry. Alright. Can I like try and follow the cloud like with the lighter? Like
Yes.
see where it ends up, I guess.
Give me a roll for that to see how well
Okay.
you do.
Am I reading between the lines still? I
Uh,
assume so.
I think you can. I think that's a valid use of this.
Yeah.
7,
5 out of 4.
7 total. So you're like, oh, maybe this crazy person who's really high is like seeing things because they're high. And for some reason they can see the gas cloud, and you realize, oh, that's actually what's going on here. Basically, Monsieur Moustache is situated in a place where the light is perfectly hitting this gas cloud that's coming from the back, headed towards you, and it travels very sinuously towards you in a way that looks like snakes. And it almost starts looking like an octopus because the cloud bank in the back is slowly rolling forward, but these tendrils are going out in front of it, reaching for y'all. So as you're looking, you become better at identifying where those tendrils are, but that does not stop the fact that the gas cloud is still coming for you. And so, Mia.
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, look, everybody's TikTok algorithm is different, right? So, like, you might see a cloud if you fit the right demographic for clouds, and like someone else might see snakes if they're in the right demographic for snakes, right? So, like, there is some overlap between differing demographics, but either way, maybe what we do to change what happens for Mr. Mustache is by affecting the cloud that Roland can see. So what if I take my safety pin and use my division 2 to try to break the snake? Because snakes
It's a great
don't
album,
regenerate.
man. Break the Snake is a good album. It sounds like an album.
What's an album?
Oh
It's a really
my
good question.
gosh.
Mr. Mustache, is an album a thing that exists anymore? Like, what are your thoughts on albums?
Yeah.
Pulls out the "What's Love Got to Do with It?" Like,
Oh, I thought those were for decorations.
This also works. It's both.
Is it, do you upload it to the cloud?
Can we lecture the youth about how music works at a later date?
I just
Okay.
think
There are more
Can I-
pressing concerns.
Can I try to like fight the cloud snakes and see if it affects Mr. Mustache's real snakes?
Mr. Mustache seems like, give it
I mean,
a try.
if you want to fight Hector, go for it. I don't recommend it, but
Well,
that's your prerogative, man.
Roland, I want to try.
I've made nice with the snakes, but I think you should try if you feel like it.
I mean, well, Roland's not feeling great about them.
So me and Roland, give me a contested role where you're both trying to convince each other of each other's point of view, and whatever you can use to convince the other one, please do so.
I'm gonna
Wait,
use my.
No, I'm agreeing with Maddie trying to divide the snake.
Yeah, I want to try to divide the snake with my safety pin.
Oh, in that case, Roland, roll. Me and Roland still roll, but roll to support one another. In that case,
Okay, so am I gonna roll 2 for division or roll 2 for division plus 1 for my safety pin?
you want. So in this case, you want to roll as close to one another as possible. So you should roll equivalent skills that will help each other.
Okay.
So I'm rolling 2 for what's it called? Read between the lines.
Okay, so then I'll roll 2 for division. Okay. I rolled a 4 and a 1.
Oh, okay, cool. I got a 4 total.
Okay.
So y'all are really, really very much on the same page about this. You are kind of coming from the same place, even though you are worlds apart from where each other are actually in life. And Roland has some really good suggestions, and Mia really fortifies you to be brave and go out there. And so you absolutely situate your camera to get the best viewpoint of this, because in no way can we have you failing and like not getting this on camera, because like even if you fail, TikTok's gonna fucking love this. Love it. Monsieur Mustache, do you have anything to add, any words of like wisdom or hurrah before Mia goes off to face her dark snake?
I just want to point out you were making fun of me for having a safety pin, and now you're all jazzed up about using it. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I saw on an Instagram infographic on stories once that people can change their minds when they've gained more information and experience. And like, I feel like that is something that it's called learning and growth. And so thank you.
Such a giving group. And with that, with those pointed words at Monsieur Mustache, and Mia's like silently thinking like, yeah, your mustache isn't even that great. Mia takes her safety pin and steps up to face the gas cloud. Mia, I'm gonna need you to give me the roll to use it. You can add a dice for your safety pin.
Okay. So I'm rolling 3 total.
So you're rolling 3 total, and are you rolling influencer or division?
Division, because I want to divide the snake. Actually, wait, I won the last roll for division. No, so that means I only have 2.
So Roland is helping you.
Roland's helping me.
Basically.
Okay.
Roland's got your back. So depending on how this roll goes, you may get an additional dice, or if something happens, Roland may have a action that he can take as a bonus.
Okay.
So we'll see.
I rolled a 6, a 4, and a 5.
Wow. So I rolled a 6 and a 5. So it's good that you had that additional safety pin dice. So you go to fight the cloud, which you can just barely see. Like, now that you've been told it's there, now that you have sort of been told what to look for, you can see the shape of it and the way the light kind of glints around it. So you almost see like this translucent outline. When you gird yourself with your pin and you start jabbing at the gas cloud that's coming for you, and that shit moves. It avoids your stab, like it knows your safety pin is its undoing. And you dance around each other in this like very impressive and unexpected sort of dance, because it's trying to clearly kind of come around and envelop you so that it can just like you with gas. But you're too smart for that, and you go dancing back and forth amongst the chairs, stabbing valiantly whenever it gets too close. And then right at the moment you think all is lost, when you've been pinned against one of these seats, that the gas is going to overcome you and you're going to be forced to watch Miss Congeniality for the last seconds of your life. You manage to stab it. And when you stab it, you divide it straight down the middle. And when you look into the heart of it, you see this deep, pulsing, blue, pure energy light. Like, you can see energy move now. And it's almost like all of that energy goes into you. And you take it into yourself. And you feel like the color electric blue. It's the best way you can really describe the sensation you're feeling. And Monsieur Moustache, Roland, as you watch this, like, actually impressive fight. Like, you would think Mia may have done some, like, karate and self-defense classes, may have had a few, you know, in case you get kidnapped, here's what you do, classes from her bodyguards. You watch as she manages to stab, and you see the difference between this emotion when she stabs, because you see the moment it hits the outside of the gas, the moment that it pierces, that goes through, and then her hand disappears. It pierces the gas. From where you would presume that her hand is, this bright, brilliant, incandescent electric blue and white light shines forth in this brilliant shower. And all of it goes really out, and you're like, oh no, it's so bright. And then all of a sudden, it sucks straight into Mia's chest. Everything goes so dark for a couple of seconds because you were used to it being so bright, and then your vision adjusts to the light. And Monsieur Moustache, Roland, you look at each other, and then you look back at where Mia should be, and she's not there. You look back at each other, and when you both look to where Mia is, she's standing there, safety pin in hand. Her eyes are glowing with that blue-white light, and they're swirling like the drink that she was given earlier. The safety pin is glowing and sparking with light. And Mia, you feel this power inside of you that you've never known. Like, you could, like, as soon as you sense the Wi-Fi, you could just jack into the hole of the internet and it would just be yours. You are powerful. You are power. And you are stuck on a shuttle with 2 people. What do you do? The 2 people look pink to your eyes, by the way. Like, you can see the power that drives them. And it's this, like, fleshy pink color.
Why don't we try to go back to Earth? Why don't we play their game and try to fly the aircraft, but instead of going to the moon, let's go back to Earth?
I mean, whatever's closer really is fine by me.
I mean, we're closer to the moon.
I mean, that's what they want us to think. We might just be in Anaheim or something.
Oh, we absolutely probably are in Anaheim, or even like San Juan Capistrano. Like, we're definitely not actually near the moon. It's just a matter now of doing what will be done to either trip the system, make it break so it falls apart around us and we escape, or we do what they want us to do with it and we are released. Those are the choices. What do we want to do?
Did anybody read the fine print when they, like, signed up for this? Because I did not.
My dad paid for my ticket. My dad bought me my ticket because he was going on a trip.
I think we should try and go to the moon.
I mean, fine. I can go to the moon. Maddie, Mia, maybe there's Wi-Fi in the hotel.
I mean, no matter what comes of this experience, wherever we're clearly going to be compensated, either through a lawsuit or through the organization conducting this study.
I hate to like give you confidence with your Instagram body, but the weird, your eye color, it would look really good in like any photos. Like, it looks good.
Thank you. Weird you didn't say that earlier, but thank you nevertheless.
It's just better now. I don't know if it's the Molly or the fact that we might eat something at some point today. I'm not sure.
I saw once on an Instagram infographic that Kate Moss once said, "Nothing tastes as good as Skinny feels," and then she made an apology video about it, and it got a lot of traction. But anyway, I feel.
Why, or you want me to fire this puppy up?
You know what? You were right about the safety pin, and this is I saw on TikTok about this idea of forgiveness and restorative uh, conflict resolution. So, yes, you should drive it like an Atari. Is that a kind of car? No. Okay.
You watch, yeah, come on, you watch Stranger Things, right? I mean,
Oh, that's real?
the video game.
Oh, the
Stranger
thing
Things
you
is
saw
a
real?
documentary. It's true.
Yeah, documentary.
Oh,
Roland, you cool with me jumping in the cockpit here? Or?
Shh. Yeah,
I've only had one DUI. I feel like this is manageable.
Oh.
I've got a manageable buzz going.
yeah, my dad's had at least 2 DUIs and works at a college.
Yeah, Roland, how do you feel about this older dude who should theoretically be further on in their career than you are having so few DUIs?
how do I feel about it?
Yeah.
It's easy to get a DUI.
Right,
It's really
exactly.
long.
And the fact that Monsieur Mustache doesn't have one is like an affront to businessmen everywhere. I mean, I don't know about you, but I personally think that it would be grounds for like some hella suspicion about Monsieur Mustache. But you know what? That's just the business side of
Roland
things.
has a good lawyer. All right, that's all I can
Roland
say.
has a very good lawyer, like a very good lawyer. Probably actually a lawyer that Mia, your father, has really, really wanted to be in business with. In fact, but this lawyer is basically
Alma mater.
alma mater and building named after yourself, like unassailable institutions. However, basically what Roland's lawyer did was went to law school, put in all of the work that needed to be put in for like 10 years, and went in with the understanding that whatever relationships I make now, I'm carrying in when I am actually a success. And Roland, in a display of like very good people hunting, identified this lawyer, was like, okay, cool, you. So Roland's lawyer is like top. But the matter at hand, currently, it's going to the moon. So, you've decided to go to the moon. Mia has decided to take point on this with her souped up powerness. Mia, how are you going to accomplish going to the moon?
Wait, I thought Mr. Mustache was trying to fly the thing.
So, what?
I thought Mustache was trying to fly us to the moon.
Yeah, I'm just a project manager.
So you've given the direction of, I am now superpowered, go to the moon.
I mean, I feel like if you feel comfortable, I'm totally cool just sitting shotgun.
Okay. I mean, I'll listen if you have any input, but I definitely, I feel like, you know how when an app is just like really intuitive and like it's like when you use Canva to like make a social media card and like it makes you feel like, oh my God, should I have gone to school for graphic design and advertising? But really it's just like the interface works. I kind of feel like the interface of everything is really simple now. I don't know why. Maybe that's like coming into my power as a woman.
And as you say that and you explain this, all of a sudden you hear someone say, this is not the experience that I was promised. And all of a sudden the main viewpoint flickers on and there's a girl sitting there, the same one who was from before, who interrupted everything. And she's staring at, she's glaring at, it goes, Mia, Roland, Monsieur Mustache, Mia, Roland, Monsieur Mustache, and she's just like going in a circle looking at all of you, and she goes, this is not the experience that I was promised. You are all the worst. You are worthless. And I cannot believe that you are daddy's heir. Mia, that was directed at you. Like an arrow straight to your heart. he doesn't love you, you know. He doesn't love anybody.
I'm gonna roll 3 influencers, and I'm gonna try to talk to this presence.
2 influencers.
Oh,
Unless
no,
you
I
can
think-
use your safety pin.
oh no, then 2. I rolled a 2 and a 4.
Wow, I rolled a 3 and a 1. So,
Okay. So I think I want to invoke the energy of all of like mental health Instagram, where everything is pastel and like written very accessibly, and where almost anyone can see themselves in it. And I want to talk to this girl who's presumably my half sister from a different marriage, from one of my dad's other wives. She's younger than me, and I probably would incorporate something about like either love languages or star signs, or attachment styles in some sort of rousing speech where instead of fighting her, I say, look, I get it. We've all had it hard. And I know that this life isn't what we were promised, and we develop in whatever ways our environments give us. And, you know, it's not your fault. And just the very millennial, mental health Instagram line of reasoning that is basically like, your reaction makes sense, but it's not your fault.
and
Yeah.
she kind of wipes her eyes and she's like, so it wasn't me, and it was actually you, huh, Maximilian? And you lean forward, and Maximilian, give me a recognition roll to see how quickly you recognize this person.
1.
A 4. You were just like, I'm sorry, what? And she leans, she gets closer to the camera and like starts changing the angles, and you're like, and it's not until she actually does the like over looking down at you. I don't think I get the picture on my camera of her like hovering over the camera where you're like, I know that angle. I have hooked up with you before. I don't remember your name. I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember like you as a person. I have that one image in my head, and I absolutely hooked up with you. You were not my pop princess.
What was your name again? Was it like Miranda or like Susie Q?
And you get a like, it is not okay, Mia. And then she looks at you, Roland, and she goes, and what do you have to say for yourself? And Roland, you give me a roll to see if you recognize this person. You can possibly make breaking the third wall. I think you could probably...
I would have thought reading between the lines, but...
That too. I think they both work really well in this situation.
Oh, yes. All right, double 6.
Ooh. And you are just like, you're looking at this person and you've listened to everything that's happened, and you're kind of like, what? Who? I don't, I'm that kind of businessman. I don't meet all of my clients. But you had this one person roll in and insist that you had to buy all of the Tamagotchi stock that you could possibly get your hands on. And you were like, no, Like, I would have to turn in my license if I did that. And you insisted, like, no. And this person got angry and yanked all of their money away from you and flounced and, like, really trounced your name in certain circles. Not ones, like, you're a good businessman. Not ones that, like, truly upset you. But it really has hindered your new business. Same energy from that random client who you fired to this person. You are pretty positive that this is the same person. What is your new skill? Because you read between the lines, too. So it's got to build on that 3. You got nuance, understanding nuance. I bet you could do something with scammers if you really wanted to. Outing scammers, something like that.
I go really vague and more like this is the universe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, reading between the lines to the mysteries of the universe makes, like, complete sense as a trajectory. So you can have Mysteries of the Universe 3. So yes, your understanding of this is giving you understanding into the deeper mysteries of the universe, and you're like, okay, first off, no, but not all there. Not good. And it seems like you all 3 have connections with this person. How interesting. And at the end of this, she looks at all of you and goes, this is not, and I'm not how I wanted my revenge to go. But this is what I have. Then I shall make the best of it and give you all the fiery death that you deserve.
Did she just say she's gonna light us on fire?
I mean, eventually, everything ends in fire, but you would know that because you taught me that. So, you know what? Enjoy.
Garlic breath. I feel like it's time for my safe word because I have had sex with this person and it seems relevant to use it.
So the second you say garlic breath, she goes, "Ah!" and immediately is out. And all of a sudden, a panel of all of the flight attendants that you saw, the twins, the very lovely J-pop band looking one, all 4 of them pop up and they look at you and you notice that it's almost like Brady Bunchy in the way they're being presented to you. Each one has a different color background. The twins are complementary. They match. They're alternate. Their uniform is the other one's background. The other background is their uniform and all of this. And they're looking at you. And in tandem, as one, they say, how may we be of service?
I mean, I definitely didn't just do Molly. I'll come clean, but I don't know, like, do we get to reboot the computer? I mean, are we back at the beginning?
I'm afraid that the revenge protocol cannot be reset. Is there anything within the program parameters that we can do to better make your death worthwhile?
No!
I want to the universe to, like, get a better understanding of, like, what are the dimensions of, like, what are the restrictions of this, like, protocol and...
Okay, give me a Mysteries of the Universe. Mysteries of the Universe 3.
Yeah, nice.
I got a 10 total, 2 4s and a 2.
I got a 14 total.
Nice. So Roland is listening to this and he's like, I mean, this is like, it's weirdly halfway between canned automated messages and like really batshit, clearly very personal, your own context. You may need a therapist kind of bullshit. So as she's kind of ranting, and it really does seem like, Roland, that you almost are a byproduct of the anger that she has for Mia and Monsieur Moustache. Like, that's, all of that is personal. Your money. And, like, at least she seems to have she's mad about the money, but it's not personal, like, in the same way Mia and Monsieur Moustache are personal. And as she's speaking, you kind of type in a few commands on the computer. You look for very few specific things. And what pulls up and you go, oh, this. Because you work with really rich people. You've heard of, even though you don't do it, you've heard of all that dark web bullshit. You've heard of all the things that your money can buy you. And one of the things that your money can buy you is a particularly specific and curated revenge scenario, which apparently the three of you may be in. So this person basically has a grudge against all three of you, arranged some absolutely ridiculous situation, paid a shit ton of money to get you onto this place, sectioned away, and you are now the result of her revenge. And she's thought all of this was a great way to, like, let you know that she was mad at you and you did bad things. But the thing is, like, her agreement is this does not come cheap, and she's actually not rich enough to just straight up buy your deaths. She had to essentially wager your deaths. So she can't control it. She can't do much. In fact, you realize, oh, you're hacking in at this time, what you are doing. You're not supposed to do. So you have a choice. You can cut her off completely mid-rant, but it's really torn. At this point, we're really unsure if she's talking about Mia or if she's talking about her, like, very, very poorly recommended relationship with Mr. Moustache. It's weird that you can't tell the difference. But it's also very clear that she and Mia have never met, that they did not necessarily, like, she knew because she's younger that there were people above her. Mia does not necessarily know all of her younger siblings because, like, why would her father bother to keep her informed of these things? So, you do this, you get this, like, flash of knowledge, and it's almost like it zips up your fingers. You're kind of like, you type in the thing, you do it, you're like, am I going to have to read this? You rest your palm on the keyboard, and all of a sudden, like, all of this information has been downloaded, and you know it within seconds. Do you tell anybody? What do you do with this information? It's a game. It does have a failsafe. Is
it going to increase my chances of survival if I keep it myself?
Probably not. You think you're fairly far in the game, like, for what it is.
Yeah.
And that it's actually worked to her disadvantage that none of you knew each other beforehand. Like, this is a game that's more built for, or a revenge that's more built for groups, like a sorority sister. This should have an entire sorority group, like, eating themselves alive, or a football team that competitiveness would start eating themselves alive. She picked this because in her mind, this is like Mean Girls. And so y'all derailed it just by dint of not being, 18-year-old Mean Girls.
Well, a few of us.
I experienced growth.
Mia insists she's 20 and an adult.
I'm an adult unless I'm being accused of something, and then I am a child.
In that case, Daddy? Daddy! Oh, Daddy 100% does not know that this is going on, by the way.
Oh, no.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not even a little bit.
All right, so I'm going to share the information with everybody. So it's a game. She wants to kill us, but we have a chance of survival. we do that best by working together.
Everyone give me 1d6 roll and tell me what it is.
Two.
Amazing. 3 of us rolled a 5, and 1 of us rolled a 2. So Roland, you're just kind of like, I figured this out and I'm good, right? I don't really have to contribute anymore. I'll take care of it. Excellent. And Roland, what do you want to do? How do you want to handle your like newfound freedom? Step back and drink? Do you want to insert yourself more into a leadership position?
I guess I'm gonna like try and waste time, like trying to get more information out of the console.
Of the person who's got a beef with everybody?
Yeah.
So Roland's gonna get more information. Mia, what do you want to do with this revelation?
I have a controversial idea.
Go for it. We love a good controversy on the gram, for sure.
Really absurd, tragic situations that could only happen with massive amounts of money often become HBO documentaries. And when young, pretty white girls like myself die in extreme circumstances, their names are remembered. And that's kind of all I've wanted. I want to martyr myself. Because maybe if it happens once, she'll stop and spare the others. Because maybe the bet that she has been placed under will be fulfilled.
Also,
by me.
If you do that, you're going to live in internet history for forever.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. Monsieur Moustache, how do you feel about this revelation?
I just feel like knowing this person, she probably got this like revenge deal on Groupon, and I just don't think that they're actually going to kill us. I think this is just like data collection, and it's, you know, it's like an escape room that eventually they're going to let us out of. So, I mean, I'm okay with you being a martyr if that's how you #want to go down.
I mean, here's the thing about, like, if it was data collection, they would have let us use our phones, right?
No, it's more nuanced data than that. It's like, you know, adrenaline levels and stuff that the metrics we're not even we don't even know.
Like not the stuff that Apple Watch takes when you're sleeping.
Yeah, that's a simple, we're talking about, you know, expanded mind stuff. And that's exactly why I was encouraged to take drugs. They wanted to see the uninterrupted brain and how I would react. You guys are on a mere mortal plane. I am floating above.
Roland, that really reads like a challenge. Have you ever been high?
I mean, given my duty history, I would guess I probably experimented a little bit, like when I was younger, before I became a serious business person.
Mm-hmm. But like once you became a serious business person, was it just like cocaine only and nothing else, or what?
Yeah, mostly cocaine. Yeah.
So Roland's like just like, please don't come near me with that unless it's cocaine, because cocaine is brilliant.
Yeah, it has amphetamines in it. It's kind of fun.
And Mia, as Roland and Monsieur Moustache kind of get into this conversation, you decide to martyr yourself and just like go for it. Because if the internet has taught you nothing, it's that you absolutely, if you're the first person to think of something, you have to hit send on that tweet.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm absolutely gonna like try to guess where in the space I think cameras are and deliver a monologue and like probably like brandish the safety pin and make some like really hackneyed metaphor about when we all wore safety pins in 2017 to show that we were safe people after Donald Trump got elected, but then also about my learning journey and with the safety pin with Mr. Mustache and with the snake, and try to make a narrative where there really isn't one. And
so, you pitch this.
I'm gonna really like milk it because clearly there's cameras, so somewhere there will be an archive.
And you basically turn to what you know is your most attractive side. Because you trust in the camera placement. Like, at the very least, your half-sister inherited a good sense of camera placement. Because, like,
I mean, I feel like they're all high angles. I feel like it's corners, like upper corner. Yeah.
High and a little bit down. Like, nobody looks bad in that angle.
Yeah.
And so, as Roland and Monsieur Moustache are having this conversation, you decide to martyr yourself. You identify your perfect angle. You give me a roll for this attack to see, like, how well you target in. If there's anything you can use, influencer, division.
I don't think there's anything I can really use.
You're just straight going for it.
I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 3. So you really get into your martyrdom, and you have this amazing speech written out about it. Goes from the point of like, we should be united, but also like, you shouldn't have power, and also I shouldn't have power, but I should also have power. You really run through the gamut of all of that stuff. And everyone's kind of spellbound until Monsieur Moustache, Roland, please give me a roll and tell me if you support Mia's martyrdom or if you do not support Mia's martyrdom, and what that looks like. So are you supporting Monsieur Moustache? Are you supporting or not supporting the martyrdom?
I'm going to be supportive. I feel like I've been very mean to this person. It's time to support her.
Okay. Mia, can you roll D6 and tell me what you got?
I rolled a 4.
And you rolled a 5, Monsieur Moustache? Yes. Roland, do you support or you anti this self-sacrificing?
I think I'm opposed to it. I think that there's a better chance of us getting out together than if you just, and there's also like, there's a risk of, if it doesn't work, then I'm just stuck here with Mr. Moustache, and I'm not really that excited about that prospect either.
So Mia and Roland, give me a single die and tell me what the roll is.
Ooh.
So Mia, you're torn. You're ready to do this thing. You've set yourself up. You go to like slam your hand down to where you think it's gonna end all of this. And from one side, you hear Monsieur Moustache egging you on, like, yes, take her down. The only way that we've ever made any sort of movement or change is by facing our fears and everything that's put forth of us. And like, good Molly helps a lot. And Roland's like, no, this is a divide and conquer thing. I've seen this so much in my business time. You're falling right into the trap that they want you to. So Monsieur Moustache is reaching out to like push you towards. Roland is reaching out to yank you back. And at the same time that you all make contact, you slam your hand down into a giant red button that's set kind of like, it's underneath a little case that says hit in case of emergency. And just as you hit it, Roland tries to yank you back. Monsieur Moustache tries to push you forward, and you hit the button, and there's this bright light. And none of you can see, hear anything. It's like, and you blink, and you look, and you're still in the shuttle, except the proportions are all weird. The seats, the aisles between the seats are way bigger than they should be. It's almost like you could shove 2 seats in between there, which is not really how it goes. You look around, everything looks like a little bit malleable. You're not really sure what that looks like, but it looks a little bit malleable. And then all of a sudden you hear, "It's about time." This fight should have happened like 2 days ago. And it's your half-sister. And she looks angry. And like, she's been angry for a real long time. The kind of angry that drives you out into the wilderness with 2 axes, 1 dog, and 1 tarp. And you're like, go survive. And she's like, fuck you, I won't do it. Her hair is very unkempt and hasn't really been washed. Her eyes are wild and bloodshot. She clearly has just like layered on clothes. She's holding 1 axe and she's looking at all of you and she goes, "You're cool. Fuck you. I'm gonna kill all of you and then I'm gonna be out." And Mia, she throws the first knife at your head. What do you do?
Well, because I'm kind of weirdly powerful. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try to roll 2 for division to try to see if somehow I can sci-fi, like, karate chop, like, the base of the axe in a way that breaks the axe and stops its trajectory toward me.
Okay. Give me a division 2 roll.
I rolled a 3 and a 3.
I rolled a 6 and a 1, so a 7. You try and do that. Give me a d6 roll. High is Monsieur Mustache, low is Roland. So Mia, just roll a d6.
Okay, I rolled a 1.
Roland, Mia has this axe coming at her, and she just goes like, shing, and it comes flying at you and smacks you right in the center of the forehead and the face, but the flat side, so it's not like the blade hits you. It just like, she just goes shing, and it just goes boom, and you're like, what? What does this do to your general plan of what's going on here?
No, I think the plan is still the same.
So how do you move forward with your plan, even though you've just got like this nice, beautiful bruise in the center of your forehead? Because Mia and this mystery half sister they're going for each other.
I want to try and percussive maintenance.
Okay.
On the sister.
Okay. Give me a roll, 2 roll.
5 total.
Ooh. I rolled a 1 and a 2. So, how does your percussive maintenance maintain the situation?
Basically just like walk over and try and like spear tackle Maddie's costs.
So, Roland, basically what happens is you remember, like, back in college when you did things for fun that weren't just making money. You, for a while there, played on the rugby team. And you had, like, some good scrum songs, some sort of scrum chants that got everybody on the right sort of headspace and the right cadence. And you basically use that memory of that physicality to kind of put yourself in the right space and then rush towards this person to distract them from Mia. And so you have successfully tackled this person, just like straight up done a very beautiful rugby tackle on them. Describe for us what, like, quite what that looks like. Does she arc in the air? Do you drag her a lot around the ground? How do you want her to feel this tackle?
Oh, I want her to go down
Oh, absolutely.
on
But-
the floor,
Uh-huh.
and I want to give Maddie some distance as well, so she can like kind of recover from the combat a bit, and then
Give her a little
Hopefully.
distance.
hopefully like
So Roland has just tackled this nameless half-sister, Monsieur Moustache. This is apparently your one-night stand lover. What are you gonna do about this? How do you think you can affect the situation?
I think I'm gonna fucking small talk her, and she's gonna just like forget all about this shit, and she's gonna fall right back for me.
All right, she's tackled. Mia's kind of hovering over her like, I mean, you're the younger sister. And tell me how you small talk her. Give me the roll, and then, 3 and a 1 for a total of 4.
I got snake eyes, so
So you
Yeah.
try and small talk her. What are some of the sort of things that you bring up?
can I use my extra point to? I bring up how we first met and how she was just intrigued at my knowledge of, kind of medium brand scotches and discount hot dogs. I just remind her of those days, in the early morning in Cape Cod, and I think she remembers. I think she needs to get over. I know you have this thing with your half sisters, but you're the most important one, and it doesn't matter what your dad says, or his accountant, or his lawyer. It's just, I think you get too caught up in that stuff. I think you just need to think about, getting some lobster rolls with me.
And it seems like you're making a really excellent point, right up until the point that you say something and then it's like a sudden turn. And she leans into you and she goes, I'm a vegetarian.
Here we go again.
And all of a sudden,
One time.
the power arcs out of her and slams into all of you and sends you flying. Roland, you end up actually sitting in a seat as if you had always been there. It's definitely not your seat. And you're kind of like, oh. And as you look down, the buckle goes whoosh, and buckles you into the seat and then pulls you back. And you're like, oh, not what I was expecting. Mia, you get sent flying into the flight attendant's area, so you're like up against the door, like just a bunch of detritus of stuff, and you're just like, oh, okay, cool. Monsieur Moustache, you basically do this thing, and you're pushed all the way back down the aisle to almost like where the bathrooms are, halfway down the thing, and you kind of, if you look down, you see that in the carpet where your feet were are direct kind of drag marks where you were dragged back from this explosion, but you keep your feet. And you look at each other, and then all of a sudden you feel inside of yourself, you're like, oh, I'm special. I can do this. We can fight. And she's standing there like, oh, I'm gonna take you all down. And just starts like throwing lightning, throwing power at all of you. And you are just straight up under attack at this point. There is no more conversation. It is just one very angry 18-year-old and the three of you. So Roland, you get a lightning bolt flying at your face. What do? Do you try and dodge, absorb, reflect? Like, what do you do with this lightning bolt?
Well, I think that one of the mysteries of the universe has to be can I somehow like do a Yoda and like reflect this back to her?
Sure. Give me a roll for the Mysteries of the Universe 3. To basically reflect that shit back. 10 total.
8.
Ooh. So you try it. You try and reflect the mysteries of the universe back to her, and it kind of works. You basically strip out the elements that have instantly killed and overwhelmed you, and you just straight up take a lightning bolt to the chest. And it sends you just flying back several rolls, and you end up sprawled along 3 seats in steerage class, sitting there like, I'm really just the money guy. You just hired me and you were a bad client, and why am I here? And you're really, really second guessing your life choices right now. Mia, you've been thrown to hell by your half-sister who apparently wants to eradicate you. What do you do?
I haven't yelled out my safety word yet. My
Nope.
safe word.
You have not.
I'm gonna yell out cow milk.
So you yell out, loud and proud, cow milk! And all of a sudden, it's like, boop. Everyone pauses. And actually, I have to pause real quick. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna grab some water.
I'll grab some water too, actually. I should be hydrating more. I'll be right back.
Cool. All right. Just me then. What's happening? The moustache has been doing some interesting things.
It's pretty funny. This is like the first time I've really worn this one for a while. I was really into there's like a chin strap one, which I find to be very funny. Because I grew up on Long Island in the 90s and it was very much a popular look. On the guy I lost my virginity to had a chin strap because that seems right in where it needs to be. But it's pretty impressive. Like, I don't, I guess there's a time for these zoom filters to be useful. I want them to put the cat one that lawyer had. It's like the best one.
I am so sorry. My cat tried to yeet herself off of the balcony. And I had to
my
go
goodness.
rescue her.
Oh my god.
Because they're very
George.
cute, but they're very dumb. Yes, it is in fact George, because Ember doesn't do this. George likes to climb up on my balcony and sit there and look down and just be like, meow. I accidentally left the door open. I'm so sorry. Anyway.
Oh,
The main the main bad guy had to go run save her cat, which is like strangely endearing, but also she's just straight up trying to kill all of you. She's yeeted Roland kind of to the back of the shuttle. Mia, you've been like tossed to one side like you're so much garbage. And Monsieur Mustache. Wait, we haven't resolved your role, have we? Mia?
No.
Or Mr. Mustache?
Her role or my role?
Sorry, where did we leave off? My bad.
We're on Mia.
I said my safe word.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mia said her safe word. It sent everybody, it sent Roland with the good glasses. Very much love them. Wow, you look like such an American frat bro. with those glasses. It's like truly
Wow.
incredible.
Wow.
With that specific shirt and those glasses and that haircut, it's a very American frat bro. It's so good.
I am mortally offended.
It's so good though, but it's like specifically
No.
with the glasses. It's not any one piece. It's the whole thing. It's very good. Sorry. Yes, Mia yeeted Roland kind of away, ended up back in the yes, that is how I felt. My cat was looking at the void like, I will eat myself in the void, and I was like, I will never see my cat again. That was great. So yes, Mia, remind me where we are. Sorry.
I said my safe word, and then everything paused,
Yes.
and that was it.
Everything paused. And all of a sudden you see the four flight attendants standing there in front of you, looking between and going, "Are you not entertained? Are you not satisfied? The victor will in fact inherit the spoils. This is all very above board and as per the family requirements. What is the nature of your issue? How can we help?"
Well, if she's watching this, and if she's upset about the will, I want to influence the flight attendants to contact my lawyers to draft up an agreement that I would give half of my inheritance to her.
So you want to share. This is...
Yeah.
Okay. Are you using your influencer power to do this?
Yes. I rolled a 4 and a 2.
The house rolled a 6 and a 5. So you try this, and you make a really good argument. Like, it's super fair. You didn't have to do any of that. Like, really, you really didn't have to do any of that. And for a second, it looks like it's going to go your way, and you all might get out of this. And then she sits up and she goes, "No. Did you not read Daddy's will? There can be only one." And then, unless like a sparkle, she disappears, they disappear, and you're kind of like, what? All of the lights come up, and when you look around, you're like, this isn't a shuttle. How did I ever think it was a shuttle? This is clearly a shell. Wait, what's going on? And when you look around, there are people around you, picking up all of their stuff, picking up their bags. Kids are crying. People are running around. And you hear, "Thank you for flying Lunar Express. Welcome to the moon, where all of your dreams come true. You're at Mare Imbrium Resort. If you look to the left, you can see one of our most popular features, which is moon volleyball. Good for the whole family, and no one ever wins. Our favorite sport here on the moon. Welcome." And it's as if none of this had ever happened. No one's making any movements otherwise. Everyone seems to be going out their business. You're still standing exactly where you were left off, and all of you get accosted by flight attendants who are like, sirs, madams, please return to your seats. Everything is fine. Don't you agree?
The last time I'm taking any Molly.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if I need less or more drugs.
I guess I could have just watched my cousin Vinny with my dad sharing a set of headphones. That would have been preferable to this.
Always an option. Ma'am. And you see this person's face like briefly go as if like the pixels were lifting up over it and shifting and moving. And in that brief moment where all the pixels kind of lift over the face, there is no face underneath the flight attendant. There is only flat, like a mannequin face with no features. And as you're gathering your stuff, as you're going to kind of leave, Roland, you glance back, you're like, all right, what was that thing I got at the beginning? And you look at your napkin, and it says, money is the root of all evil, room 3342. Monsieur Moustache, you may have a better appreciation for the people who you do one-night stands with. Like, maybe choose them a little bit better. But when you go rooting through all of your stuff, you find, like, a rolled-up, very tight banner. Like, it's a bunch of cloth, and you're like, I definitely didn't pack this. And you unroll it, and it's just this very long, one of those vinyl stickers, those cutouts that you're supposed to put on your wall that say things like, family is love and hope and strength and kids and my husband, kind of a thing. Except this one says, do not look to those who hook up with you. Look rather at how you hook up with people. Is what this banner says, and you're like, okay. And Mia, you start digging through your stuff because you're like, fuck this. Gaslighting bullshit. You've gaslit me once, shame on you. You've gaslit me twice, also shame on you. If you gaslight me a third time, also fucking shame on you. I don't want any of you people, you're all toxic. And so you're just sitting there looking around like, Roland, how are you reacting to this?
I'm just...
I'm just money. I was a higher person. What? Monsieur Moustache, how are you reacting to this?
Yeah.
I mean, I only had a few complaints, and that's why I was terminated from my contract. So I suppose maybe this is just, a little extra lesson for me. I'll keep it in mind.
You should really take the time to, deeply think of these things. I mean, it's not until you're actually off the shuttle, until you're on the moon base, until you're in your suite and your father's still nowhere to be seen, that you're unpacking. Well, actually, you have people to do that for you. You don't do anything as mundane as pack yourself and unpack yourself. But you come home after the welcome inauguration, a ball or whatever, and you did successfully get all of your pictures off. You have gained so many followers. And then you come home on this absolute utter high. You're doing great. You're stepping out of your father's shadow. It's not all just because of dad. You built this. You did this. You built your brand. You did your thing. And when you walk into your room, they're stabbed into your pillow. is a knife. And around the hilt is tied a little piece of paper. And written in this in like a strangely, weirdly brownish red color is you are, the letter U, the letter R, K-N-O-T, not the air, A-I-R. And no one believes you. No one believes any of you when you tell the story of this shuttle that mysteriously took like a break in deep space, didn't really manage to do anything, trapped the three of you on there, and then somehow just reset the world to the way it was supposed to be. Huh. Interesting. Not technology that any of you, for all of your money, influence, and power, ever knew about. And how this person came out of nowhere, because Mia, you technically are your father's heir. And you have no access to the resources to do this. You wouldn't even know where to start. You didn't know that technology that can affect people to this extent exists. So whenever you try and tell your story, no one believes you. But every time you start to doubt it, all of you, all three of you, you get a little token to remind you that yes, you were supposed to die on that shuttle. No, we were not planning for you to survive on that shuttle. And yet, inexplicably, y'all did. And I'm coming for you. Love, XOXO, kisses, Annika. Enjoy Mare Imbrium. So, if you're up for it, the three of you, we may have to do a part 2. Annika's Revenge. When you are actually on the Mare Imbrium resort.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Roland, you look like such. Like, either that or you're going on spring break.
I'm not going to sit here and be insulted. This is...
Oh my goodness. I'm starving. I gotta eat some dinner.
Yes, thank you so much for playing with me. That was a really interesting one. Usually people make it to the moon. Y'all did not. Love everything. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be back in 2 weeks to tell people where they can find you on the internet. Maddie?
You can find me on Pop Culture Co-op this upcoming Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for Theater Games. And you can find me on all the socials at Sound of Maddie. And also, if you like show tunes and singing along to musical theater, I am a member of the staff of Marie's Crisis, and we do digital live streams and musical theater content every day. My content goes up this upcoming Wednesday in Marie's group with no apostrophe on Facebook.
That's so cool. Lauren, where can we find you and your work?
Oh, you can... At Bring Singles is a show on Pop Culture Co-op, and that's it for the moment.
It's so good.
Well,
Everyone should tune in.
Some of my jokes are on Whack Job Television, Instagram, but not enough yet.
Zorro.
I just popped it in the chat. So I've got Strange Ember on Instagram and Smash the State on Twitter.
You look like the Hamburglar now.
You do look like the
A
hamburger,
little
and the
bit.
cat's like, I'm gonna eat you.
I love having to like role play as a non-vegetarian was very funny because like I was like, that's so funny. I've never been, but I've also been the person that's like, I'm a vegetarian. Can I make me hot dogs?
Amazing.
Discounted hot dogs is a really funny phrase, and it's going to stick with me for a while.
It's a very good one. Thank everyone for being here. I hope you enjoyed the random wackiness that was our trip to the moon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.